Hey everybody, welcome to your favorite show where three neckbeards scream at the world. It's Flash Fried. How you doing?
No, today we will, one of those neckbeards will be squealing with joy today, not with rage.
Yeah, because
He'll
of course,
be pleased as punch.
the underwhelming, terrible trailer for Dune has come out today.
Fuck you, TJ.
Are you
So-
underwhelmed, TJ?
No, it looks pretty amazing, honestly. I was hoping it would look like shit, kind of on some level, just so Paul would cry. But it looks like it looks like it's gonna be good. So one thing I was kind of scared of with this movie is everything I saw up to a certain point was just like, here's this character standing around in the desert, and here's this character standing around in the desert, and I'm like, does Dune really lend itself to like the sort of like crazy visuals that like like a Lord of the Rings or something like that does? Because that's what it keeps getting compared to.
Right.
And I was kind of a little bit worried that maybe being stuck on a fucking barren desert planet, it'd get a little bit repetitive visually after a while. But I think after watching this trailer, it looks like they have plenty in their visual arsenal.
Like, look, if they had fallen into the trap of everything is a sand dune, but even David Lynch didn't fall into that trap. Like a desert desert is just as epic and expansive a fucking environment if done right as a big mountain is or a forest is. You know what I mean? It's like they're
absolutely.
If it lacks visual diversity, then it's just a failure on the part of the filmmaker and the art team involved. The Arakeen landscape is dotted with stark landmarks. Its sky is different than the sky that we experience here on Earth. And so there are tons of examples to make it look huge and expansive and amazing. And it looks like that's been done. From
hell yeah.
I am a virgin as far as this Dune trailer is concerned. I just was like, you know what? I want to come into this not having seen it, because I know you guys are probably going to go watch it immediately, which I don't fault you for by any stretch of the imagination. But I just felt like, hey, I want to have my own genuine reaction when I see it. I'm optimistic. Are you guys ready? Is there anything else you guys want to add before?
Yeah, I do want to say really quickly to anybody watching this, if you want to watch this trailer uninterrupted from start to finish, you should probably go do that before you watch this, because we're gonna interrupt it. So
yeah, if you want to see it unmolested by three fat neckbeards, go ahead and watch it. Come back.
Oh, hey, Dune trailer, get in my van. All right, let's watch it. Paul's so fucking excited for this movie. He's literally like creaming.
I'm doing the representation on my boner. So guys, if you see this,
Paul's like, oh, the Warner Brothers logo. Oh, legendary pictures.
Paul's already seen it, so we already know.
Oh yeah, legendary pictures. Like,
dude,
Paul's you
guys corporate logo
understand.
creaming and shit, dude.
You don't understand how hard I am for this movie, and this is only in like I thought my boner was as thick and hard and veiny as it had ever been when I watched this trailer 3 times earlier today.
Yeah.
But now it's getting even harder watching it with you guys. So I'm just telling you, who knows?
Wow, it's a group activity. You're getting hard, like it's like a circle jerk almost. Like, oh wow, yeah, it's getting a little.
Oh yeah, now I'm watching it with others.
There's theoretically no limit to my hardness, is what I'm telling you.
Wow.
There's something happening to me. There's something awakening in my mind. I can't control it.
What did you see?
This is why Paul likes this movie, dude. Because the main character has the same name. Paul's ego, dude. Paul, come seize your destiny. Paul.
You know that meme where it's like, hey buddy, you hit your head. It's 2020. There's a pandemic, all this shit. Paul wants to hit his head and wake up, and it's like, ready to go to Arrakis, Paul?
I'm like, yes, my Duke. No, I mean, I won't lie to you. It is kind of cool to have one of my favorite pieces of fiction have a central character share my first name, and to get to read my own name all throughout one of the best novels ever written. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you it sucks or something, but if his name was Gustavo, I'd still be here for it.
I gotcha.
There's a crusade coming.
Do you often dream things that happen just as you dreamed them?
Yes.
The test is simple. Remove your hand from the box, and you die.
What's in the box?
Pain. You inherit too much power. You have proven you can rule yourself.
So
Yeah,
that's our first look at the shield effect.
Yeah.
Which is, there are various kinds of these that are used in the Dune universe. The Atreides are most well known for their mastery of shield maneuvering. That's how their troops kind of stand out from the Sardaukar troops of the Emperor and the Harkonnen troops. Not that those other troops don't have access to shield technology. It's just that the Atreides are known for being really good with shield fighting.
They specialize in that, is what you're saying.
Exactly. They specialize in, the art of shield dueling, which one of the principles of it is the slow blade penetrates the shield, which means that fast strikes are reflected and the slow strikes are accepted. So
It's almost.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's almost like a philosophical thing as well.
exactly. It's very like Japanese almost, and it's martial arts kind of the way it's described in the book. Now, I don't know how it'll be presented here, but Gurney Halleck, played by Josh Brolin there, is kind of Paul's mentor, not only in combat, but in the art of leading. He's actually been more of kind of like a father figure for Paul than Duke Leto has, because Duke Leto is the Duke. He's got other shit
busy.
going on.
Is busy with his Duke duties.
Something none of your ancestors learned.
My father rules an entire planet.
He's losing it.
He's getting a richer one.
He'll lose that one too.
So that's that's a sentiment that's completely absent from Lynch's Dune. The idea that the Reverend Mother kind of presages the fact that Leto is going to lose his grip on power and that Paul is going to be called to step into those shoes. He doesn't believe her at first, but part of him does, because part of him knows that he shares the gift that she shares. But it's a very hard thing for Paul to come to grips with, because, like I said, he's a young man in this, the son of a man who is not just the president of the United. He's not like Baron Trump. Like Leto Atreides is the Duke of an entire planet and rules over several other subsidiary, areas and shit. And like, he's like a huge, massive dude. And to hear like your father is going to lose everything. Like nobody in your bloodline has ever learned to lead. How that will like rankle the son of a duke, you know what I mean? Who obviously looks up to his father and thinks he's invincible.
Yep. Sounds to me like Paul just needs to learn to embrace Paul's great destiny. Let me ask you this, other Paul, Fat Paul. How do you feel like Timothy Chalamet's doing in this role based on this trailer? You said you had some misgivings about that, maybe?
No. Well, I had misgivings about him when I first saw him, because I didn't really know. He visually looked the part, but I didn't know how he was going to sound delivering it and how he was going to look. If you want to rewind, there's a moment where that melts away for me in this trailer. It's right at the beginning of the box scene. When she asks him
the box scene, I think that's around.
When she asks him, do you often?
Where the fuck is that?
She asks him, do you often dream of things? Yeah, right there. So watch his reaction. Watch his consideration of the question and reaction here.
Okay. Gotcha.
Do you often dream things that happen just as you dreamed them?
Yes.
No hesitation, determination. He's taken aback by the fact that she knows what he's going through, but he doesn't hesitate. Like, that was it for me. Like, when I saw that moment, I was like, okay, kid can act. Kid understands the role. Because that's a very tense scene. Like, he does not think that he is the son of the Duke and the heir to the ducal throne of the Atreides should be answering to some withered old woman in his own home. So he comes at her like, I'm not going to stand here meekly and take your instruction. He fights her. She wins.
Well, yeah. Well, of course, it's teenage angst. It's that kind of air of superiority. Like the position he's already been born into, being brought up your whole life. Like you're better, you're better, you're better, and then someone just comes in and kind of flips the script on you, and you don't even really know how to react.
So
and
now
and obviously he doesn't.
I heard him in the teaser pronounce the litany of fear, the litany against fear. I've heard him that one word though allayed all my fears because it showed me his chops, his consideration. He hears, he's just a great he's a good actor. He's good for this part.
Now you must learn to rule others. Something none of your ancestors learned.
Yo, ancestors sucked, bitch.
Planet. He's losing it.
He's getting a richer one.
He'll lose that one too. Arrakis is a death trap.
So pause it there. Back it up a little bit.
Let me just go back a little so we can get that.
So that is our. This is our
Batista there.
This is our first look at Dave Bautista in this movie as the Beast Raban, the commander of the military force that Baron Harkonnen sends to Arrakis to oppose the Duke's takeover. In fact, the Harkonnens are the people that he is supposed to be taking over from. And so the Beast Raban, huge part in Dune, plays a huge role in the first book. And our first look at him is so cool. They didn't fuck him all up. He looks like Dave Bautista, but he is just, I don't know. They made him pale like the Harkonnens all are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He looks like scary, but also like his color makes him look kind of sickly, but in a terrifying way.
He's like sickly and menacing, but like in like kind of that almost like mutant way where it's like, don't mistake it for like it's like a pallor. It's like there is a deep strength abiding there. You can just tell, like even just the shot, like I definitely like the character design they went with.
Yeah, that's what the Harkonnens are known for. So David Lynch kind of layered this disease thing, but the Harkonnens are kind of known for their beauty. They're fair. Right. Like I'm not saying that fair skin is ultimate beauty. I'm not doing the hey,
wow, racist much, Paul?
Damn,
racist
Paul.
much?
I'm just saying they're
beautiful. They're fair skinned. Skin so white, so pure.
White.
Well, this is beyond fair though. You get what I'm saying? Like this is
pale. This is pale. Yeah.
That's what they're renowned for. They're
well, think about it too. They live on Arrakis and they're pale. What other sign of nobility and wealth can you have on a desert world?
Well, they live on Gidi Prime.
Oh, well, okay. Well, fair enough. Then that's my mistake. But yeah, but still.
Kill him.
So right there too, right after we get Dave Bautista, it's almost like they fucking hammer us with one of two brief looks that we get at the Baron. It looks like the Baron is going to be delivering. He's not going to be as ostentatious as the Baron Harkonnen is in the Lynch Dune.
Go back to that little very brief moment, TJ, with the Baron.
He seems to be soaking, maybe steaming in a fucking sauna, and he just says, "Killed him."
Kill him.
Is he almost
Kill
like?
him.
Is that the suit he's wearing, or is his neck almost kind of weird?
Who knows?
I would imagine that is part of his suit. He's intentionally obscured here because I think that they've got something pretty special in mind for the Baron Harkonnen.
Kind of crazy fucking visual thing for him.
This is kind of how they treated the Joker in the Dark Knight early trailers. Yeah. Where they would just give you brief glimpses of him, you know what I mean? But they didn't want to give you his whole aesthetic.
This feels like a lot more Machiavellian as opposed to like the other Baron Harkonnen was kind of like, ah, I'm the Baron.
I
Like,
am a goofy fat
is more like-
bastard.
you meet the Baron one-on-one, and he has all the power. Then it's like, and it's kind of like, kill them. You know, it's not like.
Well, that's exactly how he is in the book, Scotty. I mean, he is not this power-hungry, crazy person covered in venereal disease that drinks the blood of his slaves openly and wantonly and revels in all the. Now, he likes that shit. He is an opulent man.
But no one knows what he's thinking.
He's a regally opulent man, though. He is not like a disgusting, like hedonistic. He presents himself at court as very important, and when he talks to people, he talks with an air of great importance. Here, when he's saying kill them, he's talking that the reason they're showing this after they just revealed Raban is because this is when he tells Raban, go to Arrakis, take our old holdings, kill them all.
Kill them. This is an extermination. They're picking my family off one.
I like this weird cover of the Pink Floyd song they got playing in the background.
Yeah,
in this trailer,
I mean, I was like, oh my fucking god, dude! Like they've taken and epicized a fucking Pink Floyd song for the trailer. Could it be
kind
more
of like
perfect?
an homage? Isn't it kind of an homage to Jodorowsky's Dune?
Could be.
Maybe it could be because Pink Floyd was going to do. So
the
in
soundtrack, right?
In Jodorowsky's Dune, each house, the Emperor's house, Carino, the Atreides, and the Harkonnen were each going to have their own soundtrack that was going to be written by a different band, and the Atreides band was Pink Floyd.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Which is pretty dope. So it's kind of cool that they're playing that. I wonder if that's like a conscious thing.
I would imagine if it is, it means that Denis Villeneuve, which you have to imagine, is aware of Jodorowsky.
I'm sure he's aware of it.
Maybe
I'm
even consulted or met with him on this fucking project. Like, this is what I'm talking about, dude. Some of those ideas that are present that are so fucking awesome in Jodorowsky's ill-fated, never-made Dune film might be in this movie.
Yeah, I mean that the song that they're playing is called Eclipse. It's like the last song on the Dark Side of the Moon. It's Dark Side of the Moon. Last song on Dark Side of the Moon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the big closing number where they fucking it's kind of like connected to another song. There's like one before it. It's like I think it's called Lunatic or something like that, and they kind of like. They're almost like one song because one kind of continues in the other, but the lyrics they're singing now are from the song Eclipse.
Yeah,
from Dark Side of the Moon, which is
so we're
cool
getting
and this is an even more dramatized version. The one on the Pink Floyd album is already pretty dramatic, but this is like they've definitely trailerized it.
We're getting a pretty cool look at the still suits now in action too. The still suits, for those people that aren't into Dune, are what people on Arrakis wear in order to preserve every drop of water that their body produces, because water is so absolutely foreign to Arrakis, has to be imported. Your own water has to be used to the utmost. That means that when you shit, every ounce of moisture needs to be filtered out of that shit. And when you piss, every toxin needs to be removed from that piss, saving as much water as possible. And that's what a still suit does. It collects your body fluids. And
David, your sweat. I mean, everything. Like they water is a very, very precious resource on Arrakis. So.
Obviously sweat, obviously piss, obviously any other bodily fluid that you leak, tears, all of those things are precious on Arrakis because every dram of water is, like a diamond. It's like 10,000 diamonds. You know what I mean? It's just something that.
So far, I'll tell you this too. I mean, just look at this shot here. I like the still suits. I like the costuming they've done. I like the lighting accents. Like I like when like looking at Kaladin. It's so rich and vibrant. Then we get to Arrakis, and it's desolate, and the architecture even represents that. It's just like this very monolithic. It's monolithic and imposing because.
It's brutalist architecture. So I actually dorked out and looked this up. And Arrakis is done in brutalist architecture, which is kind of like Eastern Bloc / Russian style of functionality and squareness. And so, but there's a lot of embellishment that goes on Arrakis that's almost like Middle Eastern or Bedouin kind of influenced.
Cool.
By one.
Let's fight like demons.
An animal caught in a trap.
So what do you think of Jason Momoa there?
So you see, if you look at that last kill that he makes, you see the slow blade penetrates the shield principle at work. He attacks and then allows the blade to sink through and allows the guy's weight to penetrate the shield and actually do the damage that kills the guy. Jason Momoa is, if this movie is huge and makes $1 billion, Jason Momoa has the best role in this film because his character, Duncan Idaho, spoiler alert if you don't want to hear spoilers about Dune, I guess, from here on out, but Duncan Idaho dies in Dune. But he is brought back by this weird group of people called the Talaxu or Tlalax. I've always had trouble saying their name. Tlalaxu, the Tlalaxu. And they use a piece of his body that's left on Arrakis to recreate him. And he's actually deathless in the Dune books. He's the one character that is unique throughout all of Frank Herbert's Dune. Paul is long dead. Fucking Duncan Idaho's still there. So if this series gets huge, Jason Momoa has the best role in the series.
Oh, he's got the juiciest role for sure.
In a trap will gnaw off its own leg to escape. What will you do?
I know you.
One day.
So pause it. So that's our other look at the Baron that we saw there. You may have missed it. It was very brief.
Yeah.
Coming out of the tub there.
Rising up out of the
was.
tub. It looks like taking some kind of rejuvenating mud bath or something.
Yeah,
and you can see that he is indeed in quite a fat suit, which is great.
So yeah, we got some ships here. It's like almost like a dragonfly looking ship.
So yeah, that's an ornithopter. If you go back real quick, these are huge in Dune.
I'll just get back to it. Yeah.
And they are described in the book as flying as an insect flies. And so this is an awesome design for an Arakeen ornithopter.
It's very, like GD said, it's like a dragonfly, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like a dragonfly.
Yes. So it's a dragonfly. I mean, and that's what they're described as. They are described as looking and flying as insects fly. So
and obviously we're teasing when the Harkonnens come back to Arrakis, and obviously with the obviously we don't want to spoil too much, but
right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, fuck you. If you don't want to hear spoilers about Dune, like, don't be listening to us talk about the Dune trailer. Like, I'm sorry. So yes, this is
when the combined forces of the Sardaukar and the Harkonnens retake Arrakis.
Yeah. So what happens, of course, is like, the Atreides hold power on Arrakis only very briefly, and the Harkonnens launch a kind of attack from within that culminates in a big invasion. And we're seeing that here. This is Gurney Halleck, the battle master that, trained Paul, attempting to make heads or tails of what the fuck is happening as the shield wall that was supposed to protect them from any kind of attack has clearly been brought down, and these troops have been given access to the inner sanctum. He knows at this moment that the Atreides no longer rule on Arrakis, and that likely, in his mind, because at this point he doesn't know whether Paul and Jessica are alive or dead, that the House Atreides may be ended utterly.
Oh yeah.
Which is, by the way, the goal of the Baron Harkonnen. Harkonnen is so rankled by the fact that political jockeying has allowed the Duke to take Arrakis from him that he doesn't want to just take it back. He wants to end the line of House Atreides and take that too. He wants to take Caladan and Arrakis and make it part of his. So here you can see pretty extensive fat suit on Stellan. So that question about was it his garb or his neck, it might actually be just a big roll of fat on the back of his neck.
It looks like there's. I feel like they're gonna. I feel like looking at that scene of him in the steam room or sauna or wherever the fuck he was earlier, it kind of seemed like there was some kind of like.
It looks like there's some around his
component
neck.
Built into like the back of his head or something.
It does look like that. Like if you see right here on the right side, like there's like it was almost like a thing on his neck. So I don't know what that is. If that's just water or if that's the lighting. But it does look like there could be some.
It might be a breathing apparatus. It might be his shield unit. It might be something that allows him to hover. It might be. True. I mean, we don't know. But we get this very brief look. Now you can tell. Look at the curvature of his shoulder. He's muscular. He looks like E Honda fat.
That's true.
Because look at those traps, dude. Look at those traps.
Yeah, dude, he's in trap day, dude. He's doing this.
So, dude is going to be like fat and buff, which is going to be awesome.
Fuff.
The legend will be born. All of civilization depends on it.
Those things are cool.
The future.
There's another pretty good shot of
Raban.
I can't remember his name. Yeah.
They almost look like it's kind of crazy. They've almost given them this kind of this elfish kind of just
vampire.
Evil yeah, like it's vampiric, this like very pale look of like, and it's actually uniform, which is kind of interesting. I didn't know that they're like, I guess anyone with their helmet removed has this kind of shaved head thing going on.
These are probably the Harkonnen shock troops, and they would all be, as the Beast Raban here is, born and raised on Giedi Prime, which is basically like, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. Imagine, what's that fucking planet from the prequels that they introduced that's all city?
Coruscant?
Imagine Coruscant, but it's all industry.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So a total hellscape where the sun doesn't shine because so much pollution is in the air, but everybody lives in hermetically sealed environments. That's why they're pale. So the Baron is going to look like this. Fade is going to look like this. So, yeah, I really like the aesthetic. It really, like it almost makes them look like vampires to me. Which is like one of the reasons that David Lynch put the heart plug shit in. If you guys have seen Lynch's Dune, they're like the Harkonnens will have their slaves have this heart plug that they can pull and drink their blood anytime they want, is because they're presented that way, like vampire aristocrats almost. And so the Beast Raban was portrayed kind of goofily in David Lynch's Dune. He is not a goofy character in this, and I'm so happy to see that.
The future. I can see it.
Lips.
I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer.
My Lord Duke.
Where the fear is gone, only I will remain.
You like his read on that, Paul?
Yes.
Is that your dick hard, Paul?
Oh, dude, it was a great.
My dick was like I said, my dick was already hard.
Well, that's the end of the trailer because that's the end.
That's it.
No,
that's it. Because there's no sandworms in Dune, as we all know from Paul's rantings and ravings.
Yeah,
over
for
the
my
last few weeks.
scuttlebutt. Well, Scotty, I'm happy to tell you that the scuttlebutt was wrong, my friend, and here you go.
All right.
Go, go, go!
Oh shit, dude. Damn.
Now that's fucking cool right there. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you don't give a fuck about Dune or this movie and you're pissed that we spent 30 minutes talking about it.
That
is
is
fucking cool.
awesome.
Yeah, you can
Yo,
go
listen to
fuck
the,
yourself.
That's fucking awesome right
I was
there.
listening to that Fat Boy Slim song, you know, the one where they had the music video where Christopher Walken dances it
Yeah.
and shit. And it's like walk without rhythm.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to attract that thing.
Yeah, I don't want to attract the sandworm.
Let's do the little title screen here.
Dunk.
Dunk.
So,
Dunk. Hold on, let me go back to the sandworm. Hell yeah.
so a
Now
performance
that is
that's,
so interesting. Oh, go ahead.
and I don't remember the name of the lady that was tapped to play Jessica, Paul's mother, because it's a huge role. She's kind of buried in this trailer, and I think maybe it's because she's so fucking good. They don't want to give too much, because her journey from Bene Gesserit witch to kind of coven leader of the new cult out in the desert that all follow Paul Atreides is one of the more interesting ones in the book. And she's in it, but she doesn't get any lines. We don't hear her really say much, if anything at all. We get some brief looks at her. So I'm interested by that. You know,
well,
what
this
I mean?
movie is obviously keeping some stuff close to its chest. So,
and no, still keeping Fade Ralph.
yeah, we still don't know. We still don't know what
I
the
think
fuck's
Fade's
going
not
on.
going to be. I don't think Fade's going to be revealed until we actually see the movie, and maybe not even then. According to
Maybe
what-
I mean, there's definitely going to be at least one more trailer for this before it comes out.
I mean, I will tell you that Fade does not become, well, in the Dune books, he's plot consequential early on and is a close confidant of the Barons. So,
Yeah, then he should be. I don't know. Maybe they're. It could be just they're waiting to reveal that in the movie, but I think a lot of the details are going to be revealed only when you see it.
he's actually a nephew of the Baron. He's like the Baron's nephew. So he's like next in line for the Baron.
I love the
era.
sandworm design. It almost just feels like you're about to hit warp, or like you're talking like a black hole. Cause it like all the I don't know if those are hairs or teeth or whatever that's supposed to
Their
be.
teeth. Their teeth.
Their teeth.
So there's.
Well, I love the insinuation of the size of the fucking thing because like they certainly shoot it in a way that makes it look fucking gigantic.
But everything leads back into that black hole because that's kind of like that's the inside of that sandworm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those are
consume.
Those are teeth. And this, by the way, so in this scene, Paul and Jessica have just escaped in an ornithopter, one of the dragonflies, from the Harkonnen attack that destroys his entire house and kills almost everybody that they know. They land in the deep desert. The way he gets away is he goes into a part of the desert that the Harkonnens don't normally go in, because if you crash, it's death, because the big worms live out there in the deep desert. Like, they've built Arrakeen, which is the name of the town that the Atreides take over on Arrakis. They've built Arrakeen in a part of the desert where the sand is shallow, and so only smaller worms come anywhere near it. He's out in the deep desert, so this is our first look at not only a sandworm, but a big motherfucker, like a genuine full-grown adult sandworm. So those things that you're seeing that look like what Scotty was saying, like going into warp or whatever, those are teeth. Earlier in the thing, do you remember the thing where Paul saluted with a knife?
Yes.
So that's a Chris knife. A Chris knife is a single-use weapon that will kill anybody that's stabbed with it, but it can only be used one time because it breaks in them. And it's made of a sandworm tooth. A small sandworm tooth. It is a weapon of the Fremen of Arrakis that is given to Paul by the Shadout Mapes and blah, 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 his first contact with the Fremen. So, but you can see these teeth are bigger than 2 or 3 men, because this is Shai Hulud. This is the god of the desert here. one of the big ones. So
Yeah,
A
I mean, I really
big
like the
son
scene.
bitch.
It feels very strong, like the worm is just sizing them up, you know. So super
well,
interesting.
not only that, but not to spoil it once again, if you're here after I've given you 90 spoiler alerts to
Yeah,
leave,
that's your fault.
then
your
that's
fault.
all on you. But Paul has a special connection, and especially Paul's family has a special connection to Shai Hulud. And so that shot that we get there, while it's cool that it's our first big face reveal of the sandworm, is packed with portent, because Scotty's exactly right. It's considering them, because
Clearly.
a big subtext, a big part of the plot of Dune is prophesying the future, developing the ability to see and know the future. You see it teased in this trailer a bunch of times. Do you often dream of things as they happen? Yes. That's part of the gift that Paul has, that up until now has been reserved for females. The female bloodlines have been trained in certain ways in the Bene Gesserit sisterhood to be psychic, to have a limited look into the future, to have a limited look into people's minds. Paul is a man who is trained in those ways by his mother against the wishes of the sisterhood. And that makes him very special, because men have different powers in that realm, that kind of witchcraft realm, than women do. And so Paul, his vision of the future is it's prescience. Like, he can see not only the future, but all futures at a certain point. So that's what, and that's all connected to the worm.
And to the spice.
And to the
that's something
spice.
that hasn't been mentioned yet. And of course, Arrakis is the only known place in the universe where the spice comes from. Paul, maybe you know this. Is the spice made by the worms?
Yes, it is. The spice,
Okay, so
the spice is made by the worms, and it's also used by the worms and protected by them. So the patches of it are where, like the densest patches of the spice are where you're going to find the largest worms defending it.
So obviously they have intelligence, and obviously there's a lot
Yes.
more to them than just simply there's a giant worm.
They're not just an animal. They're
Okay.
described by the Fremen as gods. They call them Shai Hulud, god of the desert. So they're gods. They're not stupid animals at all. They have will. They're there to protect the spice and create the spice. And
Well, because I just want that to be clear to people watching, because like I kind of know, like, I mean, like, it's been a while since I've read Dune. I'm obviously going to reread it before it comes out. But yeah, since you know all that, I was kind of just trying to treat you as a resource. And maybe people are wondering, like, they're not just these animals. Like, there's a lot more to them than just simply, oh, it's a giant worm. Because, and especially in Lynch's Dune, they're kind of more treated that way.
yes.
The ultimate
I
sandworm
actually
is
might
still...
be wrong. I actually might be wrong about the spice being made by the worms, but it is defended by them. They're aware of it. There might be
I think that is correct from what I remember of Dune.
I said it, and then now I'm questioning myself, because I redid all the books via audiobook like 6 months ago, and I'm questioning myself as to whether that's true. But
I feel like that's true.
I think it is true, but I don't know.
I don't remember, because it's like
I just wanted to cushion myself against the actually guys. You know,
actually.
but I do know that the sandworms
no way to
are
do that.
aware of the spice and defend it. And when one is around, they reek of it. So
It's a very powerful substance. So as we know, totally looking forward to this movie. I think it's one of the best trailers I've seen in a long ass time. And, the hype level, if me, keeps rising. I hope that, like, at this point, if the movie sucks, it'll be one of the biggest letdowns as far as a film I can think of.
My hype level has been here, and this just solidified it for me. Like, if this trailer had been like, or if Timothée Chalamet had been weird, or the shot had, but I didn't really expect that. My hype level has been here. It remains exact. I'm over the top excited for this, dude. I'm telling you, Scotty, this movie, you remember before the show, before TJ got in here, I was telling you that this property is in the hands of a visionary.
It is.
It's
It
in the
clearly
hands
is.
of a visionary director that has a love for the fucking source material. You can tell from this trailer. It's beautiful.
Unquestionably.
Well, I mean, this is a movie that has repeatedly it's been stated that that it's unfilmable.
Bullshit.
And everything that's happened with it thus far kind of makes, contributes to that seeming true.
You want to know why it's unfilmable? Because this is a movie about the toppling of power structures over and over again. I mean, the whole Dune book, the whole book universe, as Herbert described it, is about the toppling of human paradigm over and over and over again, and trying fruitlessly to break that wheel, but finding out that it's just a natural part of the way that humanity and other animals refresh themselves. Like, humanity eventually gets tired of opulence and perfection and turns on it and destroys everything because they desire that chaos. Like, that's the ultimate fucking, like, well, one of the ultimate realizations of Dune, if you go through the whole series that Herbert wrote through Chapter House, is that humanity can't be given utopia. You can't give a person everything in opulence. You can't have a god that literally knows everything, can see the future perfectly, and give you exactly what you need before you even know you need it, and be happy. Humanity will find a reason to be dissatisfied with that and will tear itself to shreds.
Well,
love it.
the Son Eclipse, the last 4 lines of it is, there is no dark side of the moon, really. Matter of fact, it's all dark.
Matter of fact, it's all dark.
So, like, I could go on and on. In our Dune episode, we talked about one of the philosophical struggles that Paul Atreides has, which is his prescience allows him to see what's going to be done in his name. Because
yes,
he becomes powerful because obviously he sees his power on Arrakis, and he who controls Arrakis controls the spice. The spice is needed for interstellar travel. If there's no spice, the Spacing Guild can't travel to these distant worlds, and so humanity goes back to this disparate species without Paul Atreides. So his ascent is huge, and he becomes a huge figure, but his prescience allows him to see the jihad that scours the galaxy of non-believers in his name. And that's part of his character in the first 2 books, is attaining that power and then wrestling with the implication of it. Like, what the
well, especially knowing what's going to happen in your name. Even after you're gone, it's like, well, yeah, because obviously I can balance the scales while I'm here, but I'm, like you said, that paradigm is not infinite, and then it comes down to interpretation.
Well,
as we see with many religions and many other groups, the minute the founder of that religion is dead, their beliefs and what they thought are widely interpreted in different ways.
And he thought for a while that he could beat it. He thought that it was just a possible future, and that if he did things correctly, that he could beat it. And then eventually found out that that was naive, because he explored every possible future, and he explored the past. He looks at it in one of the books through the eyes of the Duke. He goes back and he looks through the eyes of his father and says, this is why my father failed. But had he tried this, he also would have failed. Had he stayed on Caladan, the troops still would have come. The Sardaukar would have came to the beautiful shores of Caladan, and blah, 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 blah. It's like he sees the failure of it, and he realizes the inevitability of it. It's like the thread of fate almost cannot be broken. People are going to do what they're going to do. And once he realizes that, he's at peace with dying, because he knows that after the jihad will come order. And after the order, you know what I mean? He starts to see the truth of it, and then his son has to learn it. His son is thrown into it in Children of Dune as the main character, and just a fucking awesome series of books. It's going to be amazing to see, because like I said, if this is a huge hit, which I hope it is, I hope that what happened to Blade Runner doesn't happen to this. I hope people don't just miss it because they don't care, because it's some dorky sci-fi shit.
I think the cast they've assembled I think the special effects that I've seen, I just can't imagine, even if you're not like, if all this is, you hear this and you're just like, who gives a shit? This looks like a really well-made film. Obviously, we haven't seen it yet. I'm not going to make proclamations. But if you just want something to go enjoy and you don't care about the deeper shit movies, you just want something that's going to entertain you, I think this is going to deliver
I
on
mean,
all
it's still
fronts.
got giant worms and fucking crazy space battles and shit. So
Yeah,
even if
like,
you don't
it's
give a
still
fuck
got all
about any
that.
of like, even if you don't give a fucking
The nerd
half
shit
of
is
a
there.
shit about the philosophy or any of that stuff, you can still be like, whoa, giant worm is crazy. So, you know.
Will it live up to the hype of Star Wars for adults? I mean, Star Wars has disappointed us. I mean, last year, we all remember last December what we saw, The Rise of Skywalker or Fall, whatever the fuck it was called.
Hopefully this one will live long enough to see itself become the villain as they
the
start
only
to adapt
regret I
his
have-
like son's books and stuff, you know.
The only regret I have with this one is that because of this pandemic, you know, I probably won't be able to see it in theaters because I'm not going to go to a movie theater while it's going on. I mean, hopefully, you know, maybe that's changed by then, but I doubt it.
December 18th is the announced date. We may get a pushback on that. I wouldn't be sad if we do. It probably just means that there's more time being spent in the editing room cleaning and polishing things up. So I'm willing to wait, but as of now,
I'm pretty confident of that release date with this trailer and everything coming out. I would not be shocked. I think they want to move ahead with this. I mean, I think a lot of cities have seen just like look what happened to James Bond. A lot of these other ones that happened right during the time period. It's like it's kind of hurt them. So I think that they want to. If they're doing this marketing push already, I would be very confident that December 18th release date.
I agree.
All right.
18th.
Now it's
It
time
is
to
like,
fucking
who
enough of
gives
this
a
bullshit. Enough of this goddamn bullshit. Let's talk about some news.
I'm sorry, dude. It's just
Hey,
it's
Paul,
such
your
an amazing
hometown-
trailer.
Your hometown's burning down.
Yeah.
Well, he's got Dune. He's fine.
I know.
All
so
of your
yeah,
childhood
yeah.
shit's
Thank you.
burning, Paul. What you think?
Thank you for fucking taking me from my highest high to my lowest low, TJ.
Remember all those memories you have of camping and stuff when you were a kid in those woods? Now they're gone. They're
the Parkey
cinders,
family
Paul.
Vacation.
So I
They're
told
cinders.
I want to let everybody in the chat know that I told TJ this before we started the show, that all the places that I remember camping in as a kid were on fire, and he's now using it against me on the show for a joke.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you believe anything else besides that was going to happen?
So let me answer some questions that I've gotten from people on Twitter and shit. My family's fine. My family lives on the valley floor, which is not in danger of burning.
There's nothing to burn.
Right. The valley floor is not got a lot of trees and shit. So, I mean, there's grass fires and shit that happen there. So maybe it'll spread to some grass fires, but those are easier to fight than forest fires are. My family's fine. What isn't fine is pretty much everywhere that I went when I was a child. So I was doing a ideology the other night for our patrons, and one of our patrons happens to be from Madera, where I grew up. He calls himself Paul's dad. It's a little creepy, but I let him, you know, hang out because he pays us every month.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he was like, that night, this creek fire that this article is talking about was spreading. And of course, I'm aware of this because I'm from there. I've got family all over that place. So I'm monitoring it too. And I'm trying to do a stream to get my mind off of it. I've made sure that my mom's safe and everybody's safe that I know of. I'm trying to get my mind off of it. And this Paul's dad guy in the chat, as I'm talking about video games and shit, just apropos of nothing, will be like, hey, Paul, North Fork is burning. And I'm like,
Are you sure this isn't your real dad?
I know.
Fuck you.
I'm starting to be
Fuck you.
creeped out. I'm starting to be creeped out because it might be.
Because this is kind of like, I've heard stories about your dad, and I'm hearing what this guy's saying. I'm like, this kind of does sound like your dad, Paul.
It is. It does. So North Fork is a little town that I used to go to the dentist for because we had this old guy for a dentist who retired and kept a few clients and retired to the foothills to a beautiful, by the way, North Fork, picturesque little mountain town right at the base, right at the top of the foothills going up into the Sierras. Just a beautiful, picturesque little place that I'm pretty sure doesn't exist anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure everything burned there, and not just the buildings, of course, but all the forest around it. So That's gone.
Well, this
right
fire
now,
is not even the largest fire, but you can see here is 163,000 acres burning.
if
0% contained. Been active for 4 days now.
if you back up a little bit on this page for me, TJ, like or go to incidents, click on incidents up there again.
Yeah.
And then just click on the creek fire.
This one here.
Just click on it over on the right. Yeah. And then click on the actual fire, because there was a way that I had it and I can't figure out how to do it. But it showed
clicking on the fire
border-
don't seem to do nothing.
it showed the border of the fire earlier. I was able to do it, and now and I don't see how that isn't there. But anyway, I'm telling you,
that.
Zoom in.
I'll look
zoom
it up in
a little
another
bit.
window.
Click the plus over on the left.
Yeah. Here we go.
Maybe if you zoom in close. Okay, so anyway, it's not going to show you. But so Huntington Lake, which is to the north of this, is on fire right now.
Yeah.
You can drag around. Can you drag it around or no?
Yeah.
Okay. There's Shaver Lake.
Shaver Lake down there.
So Shaver Lake is a lake that I did a lot of families go there to camp and fish and boat. That's gone. That whole lake, everything around it is engulfed. It's gone. Well, the lake is there, but it's going to be filled with ashes and dead trees for 100 years. It's gone.
Right. It's not. It's a nasty.
Um,
This is like a little town here. This is gone.
Yes. That's Shaver Lake is the little tourist town that, has little cabins you can rent and blah, blah, blah. That's gone. Say goodbye to it. It's gone.
Bye.
Zoom out a little bit, TJ. Couple steps. Go to the north a little bit and west. So you see South Fork?
Northwest.
Right there, South Fork.
South Fork.
Yep.
Oh, here. Yeah. Okay.
Zoom in around that
Okay.
area.
Okay.
So South Fork is marked on the map. There's North Fork.
South and North Fork right there.
This is that tiny little picturesque town that I was telling you about that has a bunch of retirees and little chalets and cute little fucking expensive boutiques and beautiful woodchuck sounds in the air when you get out and like tweeting birds. This is gone.
Oh man, dude, I'm
No
looking at some
more.
of the images of the fire, dude. It is just insane.
Yeah,
Man,
I mean, maybe send.
Did you pull a story about this at all, TJ?
I mean, I pulled the story. This was the story that's pulled. California camper recorded his
Yeah, they
family's
had to be
creek fire
they had to
escape.
airlift people, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is. They were talking about being airlifted and stuff. I don't know if the video's in here. They said they filmed it. I don't know why the fuck. Airlifted.
nuts, dude.
So, I mean, it's just fucking crazy to me.
I mean, here's a picture of the fire here.
I mean, I don't know which fire that's from. There are a number of gigantic wildfires in California, so this might not be one. This might
I
be
think
one
that's one.
coastal.
I think they said it was from the creek fire, but the creek fire is the third biggest fire in
Right.
California right now. I think.
Yes.
I mean, there's some other ones that are super huge. The bigger ones are the SCU Lightning Complex is like a huge fire, and the LNU Lightning Complex another huge fire. But this creek fire.
The big so the kind of fucked position that the central part of the state where I'm from is in is that to the east they've got the third or fifth or whatever biggest fire in the state burning, and then to the west and north they've got the fire that's burning through the coastal range and threatening Oakland, which is where the Raiders are fucking from. You know what I mean? We're talking about like.
Hey, they're in Vegas now though, so they're okay.
Dude, all of the air, all
They
of
ran
these,
off.
all of the hoity-toity areas that surround San Francisco and the Bay Area, as it's known in California, are all up in the mountains. Well, not all of them, but most of them are up in like the coastal range mountains. And it's
Got another fire map
Yeah,
from the San Francisco Chronicle that might be able to give us some more
Oh, look at this,
information.
dude. This is nuts.
Can you zoom on this one? Yeah,
I
you
just looked at
can.
the U.S. drought monitor, dude.
I don't know if I can. Yeah,
you
it looks
can.
like I can.
And of course,
Yeah.
much of California is in drought. Actually, with the exception of the LA area, that's not actually in a drought. Madera is in a moderate drought right now.
Yeah.
Northern California is in a severe drought.
This is the creek fire, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, it is. Holy shit, dude. Wow.
So this is like the frontier of the fire. This is 0% contained fire. Like the two bigger fires are like 90-something% contained apiece. This one is not even. They haven't even begun to contain this.
So, you guys see Oakhurst there?
Yeah, Oakhurst. Yeah.
So that's like a stopover on the way to a big tourist destination in California named Mammoth Lakes, which is also, by the way, gone. This fire has burned already 160 something thousand acres.
Yeah, 163,138.
Mammoth is gone, and I think it's part of another fire. If you go just to the north of this, zoom out a little bit and go to the north.
Okay.
Yeah, you see Mammoth Lakes there. Mammoth Lakes is gone in another fire. You can see how close another wildfire is to the north of the Yosemite Valley, which is where Half Dome and all the beautiful waterfalls and shit are.
This fire, can we get a name on that one? Yeah. It won't tell me the name. They might not even bother naming.
So I'm telling you, dude, like, you know, now go over to the Bay Area, go like zoom out and go northwest of where you're at here to see the kind of Bay Area fire that's going.
You talk about this one up here?
Yeah. So like the Ukiah, Yuba City, Chico, like all that shit.
Oh my God, Paul. So I looked at Madeira. I'm looking at its weather. I'm like, any rain in the forecast? The next time rain is forecast for Madeira, as far out as I could find, is Halloween.
Yeah, that's pretty typical. Sometimes we will get some like, I don't know, off, but yeah, that's pretty typical.
Yeah,
like
so basically
late October into November is the wet season, if there is one.
But if we go all the way back, I mean, you can see there's fires all along the coast. I mean,
it's just the whole fucking state is basically lit up. Look at Oregon is the same. I mean, Oregon is fucking.
This is just a California, but like I got pictures from Oregon for you could fucking look at some of the shit that's going on there. Where did that fucking go? Here we go. This is like Oregon's like Oregon looks like a fucking nightmare. Like it's just like it looks like it's basically just descended into hell.
It looks like the Doom invasion has begun in Oregon.
Yeah, like
demons are breaching Oregon through portals.
They should get Arnold out there to fucking be like, get your ass to Mars, because it looks like fucking Mars. Everything's red. Everything's just bathed in this fucking red light.
So to a lesser extent, I've seen this effect. This happens at dusk and dawn when there's a big fire that is dumping a lot of smoke in the high atmosphere that's kind of raining down onto a town. This happened. I've lived through lesser versions of this. I've never lived in California when it was on fire to this extent, but I've lived through giant wildfire that, you know, you feel you're safe from. You're not going to burn because it's 800 miles away or some shit, but you know all the smoke from it is just going to settle into your fucking town. And I haven't seen it turn this. I've never seen anything close to this, but I've seen this effect where the sky is like way more, like it's like the normal morning light that you would get is diffused throughout the entire sky because you've got this layer of fucking ash in the air.
What does this article say, TJ?
I don't know, but I want to show you guys the actual video of this shit.
Okay.
Because it won't load on this stupid fucking page, so I just pulled it up on YouTube. So here you can see. Turn this stupid fucking music off. None of this is filtered. This has not been like run through like a Photoshop thing to make it look like it's this red. You know? It's fucking crazy. Like that's got to feel like you're literally living in the end times when you're fucking looking out and seeing that.
Yeah. I've got some family in Oregon, and so I'll have to call and make sure. I mean, I assume I would have heard if they're not okay. I know that they're not up in the mountains, so they're probably fine.
Absolutely. Sure about the earthquake in New Jersey yesterday too? That's some crazy shit. It wasn't really like
2020, really, dude.
Yeah, 2020 is a fucked up year. Yeah, there was like
earthquake in New Jersey.
in fucking New Jersey where they don't even like. They were like, "What the fuck? We get earthquakes?" Yeah, there was like a 3.2. Wasn't like a crazy one, but like you don't expect an earthquake there.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition, TJ.
Yeah, well, no one expects 2020 until it fucking happens either. It looks like they're just cycling through the same pictures now.
No, it's
But,
a
yeah.
hellscape, dude. It's a fucking hellscape.
Let me fucking see if I can pull a thing of that fucking family escape in the creek fire. So we can see the creek
I
fire.
mean, shit,
in
that's-
They had to
action, too.
be
Yeah.
airlifted out. They had to airlift a family out because, and like, look, this is scary as shit for me on a personal level because all my family camps. Obviously, I grew up in an area that access to shit like this is an hour or less away. You know what I mean? Beautiful, pristine creeks, waterfalls, big pine forests, big redwood forests. By the way, another thing that's burned in California that a lot of people won't even really get the chance to lament the loss of is the Redwood National Forest.
Yeah, of course.
Huge swath of old redwood trees are gone. Now, most of them have survived, the big ones at least.
Let's get to the dramatic shit here. This is the creek fire burning here. People being evacuated by fucking air.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at all this
So-
shit. 200
200
people
plus
rescued. 400. This was like acres ago. It's burned way more than that now.
Oh my fucking God, dude.
This is from 3 days
I'm
ago.
not even gonna
This is
say
like
it. That's fucking crazy. I just saw something that I don't think I should mention it because
what is it?
What?
I know these people. Like I
You
don't
know,
know
like-
them. I don't know them super fucking well, but I know their family. Like I know of them.
Oh, okay. I
Crazy.
gotcha.
Well,
That's
yeah, that's
wild.
probably. Yeah.
Paul seeing people he knows up in the news. Crazy shit. They're trying to put it out. They haven't contained shit though. This has
So,
only gotten
you
this has
guys
only
gotta
gotten way
understand-
worse since this story came out.
This creek fire is a huge problem because what has happened is a lot of people that make a lot of money in the Central Valley, farmers, businessmen,
This is the
big
El Dorado fire now.
big business owners, et cetera, have fled the heat and the bad air conditions of the valley floor by moving into expensive parcels of land in tiny little communities and or just completely remote land where they've had houses built. So the rich, more affluent people and a lot of not vacationers, but people that are like buying up land, building chalets on them so that people can rent them. I don't know what you'd call that type of person. Taking advantage of
Rich
the tourism.
asshole.
Well,
Just
yeah. But I'm telling you, like, not everybody that's up here is a rich asshole. People rent these fucking chalets,
Right.
you know what I mean, for reasonable prices. So it's like, but this is fucking crazy. So this is the creek.
This is creek fire. This is someone escaping.
You want to know what the fucking crazy shit about it is? Is a lot of
Here's
the
some
shit.
more raw footage.
This is fucking
go ahead.
nuts to me. A lot of the shit you guys are looking at, I might have driven these roads. I've definitely camped in these forests. So it is fucking insane to me to see this part of the world burning like this.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, watching Australia go through this a number of months ago.
There was a sense of detachment that's just like
Right.
gone from
It's
me
like-
personally now. I know
mean,
I'm not
I knew some people in Australia, so I knew there was like serious shit, but like,
But I know this environment. I know these like little fucking scrub plants and shit. I know the lay of this land. Do you get me? Like I grew up in
yeah.
it, and to see
No,
it
I mean,
going,
it's kind of like after I was like going through the devastation after Katrina and seeing like places I used to eat and stuff just become rubble. It's crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is what it's a humbling moment because it's one of the moments you have to realize like how we're living in this environment. We can pretend that we have some element of control, but these fires, sometimes they're caused by people and sometimes they're just natural. Like, there's a bunch of electrical activity. Oh, there's a fucking huge fire, and all you can do is run away. There's not much else you can do. Just like a hurricane. I mean, people live on the Gulf Coast know hurricanes are a fact of
man,
life. It's-
people fucking retire out here, Scotty. Like that's one of the
Oh, yeah.
scary things about this is like what the area you're looking at that's burning, all that shit that I was talking about, people dotting, like a lot of people save up their money so they
Oh,
can
I
buy
understand,
so they
man.
can buy a little parcel of land and park a trailer on this type of shit.
But
Well, the
Paul, you
fire
also
had other
know that if you
plans.
that as humans, if you don't fucking give nature its respect and understand what it can do to you, especially in this part of the country, that's a gamble. That's a
Well,
gamble. It's
the
like
crazy thing about
it's
nature
like
is it
buying a
doesn't.
retirement house in Florida.
Even
You
if
know what I
you,
mean? And saying,
yeah,
hey, there's
even
not
if
gonna be
you,
hurricanes.
even if you do respect nature, it's still not necessarily going to respect you back. It's a force,
Well, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I have no empathy for those people, but it's kind of like if you get a house in Florida, Florida gets a ton of hurricanes. You might have to fucking evacuate. Your house might go underwater in the next fucking 20 years.
I mean, no matter where you're going to live in this country or on this planet, like there's no safe place on Earth. And this is kind of like just another
Now,
reminder of
with
that.
natural disasters, you can look at indexes of where they occur more often. California is in the red, unfortunately.
But is there
Louisiana
is
in
there
the
any
red.
100% safe place on this fucking planet though? Is there
Like
anywhere you're
places
safe
like
from every
Ohio, a lot of places like that have very like Ohio.
What about
is
an
like a
asteroid?
minimalist.
Asteroid hits.
Yellowstone,
yeah.
Ohio's fucking,
caldera.
Yellowstone caldera. That could fucking some
Well,
shit up.
Ohio, you probably survive. Well, you survive at least one of those things. Yellowstone caldera is far enough away.
Yeah.
If you're close to it, though, I mean,
the whole
that
planet,
difference
when
is-
that shit goes, though, the whole planet's gonna be
Have you seen the fucking?
miserable.
Have you seen the blast cone on the Yellowstone caldera? I don't think Ohio's okay.
I believe it would be
the caldera,
okay.
the main destruction of the caldera is going to be gone through within 50 miles. Now, the environmental impact is way
Stone.
greater.
Like,
So-
yeah, most of the planet's gonna be like environmental shit.
Yeah,
One of the
that's
crazy-
You're gonna be cast into like
that's gonna
artificial
kill way
winter
more
for.
life. Yeah, the caldera going is the blast itself is that's horrible, but it's all, everything else that it does afterwards that really is going to be devastating.
But
to
this
the
is
environment.
crazy.
One of the
hold on, let
crazy
me-
things about watching this is like I don't know the names of all of them because I'm not a big tree plant, and whatever you
Sure,
what
yeah,
do you
you don't
what do
know.
you call a plant person? Not an entomologist, not a paleontologist. A botanist.
Yeah, botanist works.
Yeah, I'm not a botanist or an arborist, but I know like the town that I live in, Madera means wood in Spanish. It used to be a big forest. And so a lot of the trees that are preserved in like parks and wooded, like, green spaces where I'm from look exactly like these trees. And to see them all going up in flames is like uniquely fucking like
Oh yeah.
sickening to me.
Oh no,
crazy
dude,
shit.
it's horrible, man. There's it's one of those things where it's like no one wants to see this happen. I mean, I'm not saying like bow at the feet of nature and going hey, it's I have no empathy or I'm glad to see it happen. I mean, I'm sure we've done nothing but exacerbate the conditions in California to make it so that this is more likely to happen. And unfortunately, I don't know if you guys pulled this, but the one of the fires I know was caused by a gender reveal party. Did you guys hear that?
Is this the gender reveal party fire? Not this one, right?
I don't think this one is, but I've
What
heard
started-
that there is.
Paul, you know about this fire because it's hitting close to home. Do you know what started the Creek fire?
I don't.
Does anyone know that yet?
I don't think that's known yet. Like I haven't heard if it's known exactly what started it. I think it's assumed lightning because that started so many of these other fires, but I don't know that they like. It's still like 0% contained, so they're not even sure.
Right. So there's probably not even been an investigation into that yet.
No, TJ, the El Dorado fire was the one that the gender reveal party sparked.
Yeah, those people. Man, this gender reveal party shit is so goddamn out of hand. Like, I've read so many stories about people dying. Like, this is not like here's my idea for a gender reveal thing. Hey, my baby's gonna be a boy. There you go. That's all you need to do. Doesn't need to be some crazy ritual where you burn down the fucking forest.
And why
And
would
we
it?
launch a rocket, and
Like-
one of the rockets has a payload that it'll be pink if it's a girl, and it'll be blue if it's a boy. Oh God, they're malfunctioning. Oh my God.
Also, we
Why
live in.
put 10,000 pounds of TNT into them.
Let's be honest too. We live in 2020. You don't know what the kid's gender is gonna be. They could grow up to have their own fucking ideas about that at this point. So
We covered this years ago. It's a they. Just have it's a they party.
yeah. So just fucking quit with this stupid shit. Just quit burning down. Like, what's gonna
What
happen
happens
next?
next,
Is someone gonna like
fluid
blow up the world and it's gonna fucking blow
TJ.
up? If the Earth explodes blue, it's a boy. It's like stop. Just fucking knock it off, dude. Yeah. So fires raging. This is going on. What else is going on in the world though? Trump's in trouble again. Oh no. What's going on this time?
What's the October surprise?
5 stunning revelations from Bob Woodward's blockbuster new book on Trump. So this is...
Dude.
So hasn't Bob Woodward already wrote one book on Trump called Fear?
Well, this one is called Rage.
Yeah, dude. I listened to Fear on audiobook just for the pure salaciousness of it.
Well, this one's even more salacious. So,
sick.
So here's some of the big stuff. Former Secretary of Defense James Mattis. One of these, by the way, is way bigger than the others, and this story doesn't necessarily tell you which.
Okay.
Former Secretary of Defense James Mattis contemplated taking collective action against the president. So that's one revelation.
That's
now, I don't know about you.
And that's not a new revelation either.
Yeah.
You remember there was all those stories about like a group of people in the White House that were aligned against Trump.
Oh, yeah. And this one to me, I'm not super interested in it because we all know that his administration is a fucking mess.
Right.
Intelligence Director Dan Coates believed Putin had something on Trump. We've also heard this kind of shit before. We've heard this speculated from numerous people. One more person speculating about it doesn't necessarily...
I had some on Trump thing. I think it's interesting, but I don't even think it's had something on Trump. I think it's has lots of money on Trump. You know what I mean? Like, that makes more sense to me than I've got Trump drinking pee-pee in a closet.
This one is not the biggest story, but I think it's pretty interesting. Woodward obtained 25 new love letters between Trump and Kim Jong-un. So 25 of these letters have never been reported on. Exchanges between Trump and North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. Kim refers to Trump in the letters as Your Excellency, and once wrote that meeting Trump again would be reminiscent of a scene from a fantasy film. He added, the deep and special friendship between us will work as a magical force. Trump also told Woodward, Kim tells me everything, including a graphic account of how Kim killed his uncle, Jang Song-Fake, who was publicly executed for treason in 2013, 2 years after Kim assumed power.
Tell me how you killed your uncle again?
So, this thing about Trump literally, writing love letters with Kim Jong-un sounds like, the more you hear about it, the more it sounds literally true. Like when Kim Jong-un is literally doing like a friendship is magic thing with Donald
fucking
Trump.
Crazy.
It's fucking weird. Okay, so here's the one that's been the big story out of all this. Not that this one doesn't really lead with it or push it, but you'll see that other people are leading with it pretty hard. Trump called the coronavirus deadly while saying the opposite in public because he wanted to play it down.
I mean, this might be like a revelation, but is it really?
Well, here's the the problem for Trump right now is that there's tapes.
Oh no. Oh no.
So let's just go right to that. So the other one, we'll get back to that one in a second.
Okay.
We'll get back to that one in a second. So number 5, Jared Kushner believes that reading Alice in Wonderland is helpful to understanding Trump.
That's very comforting to know that the president is good by reading Alice in Wonderland.
Hold up. Listen to the logic. The president's advisor and son-in-law, Jared Kushner, said 4 books help in providing insight in Trump's mindset. It doesn't tell you what the other 3 are. They're trying to get you to buy the book, of course, including Alice in Wonderland. Quoting the novel's Cheshire Cat, Kushner said, "If you don't know where you're going, any path will get you there."
That's terrifying. That's terrifying. That's the leader of a country. Like, if you don't know where you're going, I guess Cheshire Cat, in a perverted way, that's true. Thank you. And thank you, Jared Kushner, for explaining Donald Trump in such glowing terms.
So we see that Woodward releases audio of Trump privately admitting danger of coronavirus and his plans to downplay it. And we can watch this here on CNN, but I think I'd rather you guys see it in the form of how it's being used already to attack Trump.
Right.
So let's go ahead and just take a look at this video from the Lincoln Project. Oh, and by the way, this hashtag Trump new is the top trend in America right now.
Okay.
At least as of a few hours ago it was anyway. I guess I could be wrong by now because we did talk about some other stuff since then. But Let's just take a look at what kind of political hay they're making out of this, and you tell me how damning you feel this is.
Okay.
This is more deadly. This is 5 per. This is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%. So this is deadly stuff.
We show cases, 99% of which are totally harmless.
Not just older.
Yeah, exactly.
People, to plenty of young people.
Young people are almost immune to this disease.
It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus.
We lose thousands and thousands of people a year to the flu. We don't turn the country off.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
I find that to be pretty damning. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, I would be interested in listening if it's available. Not maybe
To,
not on the
uncut.
show, but the uncut interview or whatever Woodward.
Well,
has
here's
released.
here we can look and listen to what CNN plays a little bit more.
I would say, look, I mean, who's it damning to? Are you saying to these undecided voters? Then that makes sense.
I have
If
no
you're talking
idea.
if you're talking about the Trump's base, I don't think it'll be damning. I mean, Trump's told, verifiably over 20,000 lies. I mean, Trump and TJ, you gotta understand, like, you just don't meet many of these people. Like, a lot of these people believe there is just a cabal against Trump, and anything like this is just going to reinforce that narrative.
Yeah, they just think everything is fake. I know.
So I mean, if you're talking about people who are seemingly reasonable, yeah, it's going to have an impact. But I don't know how many reasonable people are going to vote, and I don't know how many people, are in this undecided category are going to go, oh, Trump knew the virus is bad. Maybe they'll just say, you know what, he was just trying to keep people safe, and he was trying people not to panic or something. There's a million justifications.
Well, let's take a listen to a more full version of the clips without necessarily all the ominous. I mean, it's CNN, so they might still put some ominous music over it. I don't know.
Sure.
Let's take a listen.
And so, what was President Xi saying yesterday?
Well, we were talking mostly about the virus, and I think he's going to have it in good shape. But it's a very tricky situation.
Indeed,
it goes through air, Bob. That's always tougher than the touch. The touch, you don't have to touch things, right? But the air, you just breathe the air, and that's how it's passed. And so that's a very tricky one. That's a very delicate one. It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus. People don't realize we lose 25,000, 30,000 people a year here. Who would ever think that, right?
I know. It's
pretty amazing. And then I say, well, is that the same thing? This is more deadly. This is 5 per. This is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%. So this is deadly stuff.
Okay, well, I can tell you spin number one. That was February 7th, 2020. Trump simply didn't understand how.
So we know Trump wasn't taken out of context, at least in the capacity of the conversation.
Well, TJ, no one did. That's what they're gonna say. No one understood the virus at that time. No one had any idea.
Yeah, but I think it looks pretty bad when he's admitting, like, oh yeah, it's way worse than the flu. Oh yeah, it's fucking terrible. Oh, it's super deadly. And then, there have been so many fucking instances where he's downplayed it to the American public, and it's just like, oh yeah, no, it's fucking, we got the flu, and it's just like the flu, really, and
well, the fact
it's
that
not even that deadly, and young people are almost immune to it and shit.
The fact that he waited until into late June to appear in public wearing a mask tells you something about, like, this is 3 weeks before the first case of coronavirus in the United States was found. That he was saying these things.
Yeah.
Which are all true about the virus, which we all were told about the virus at the time, by the way. The scientists were all saying these things about it. So it's like...
here's the thing I worry about, Paul, is that, yeah, maybe people on Twitter and maybe some people that go to these news sources that give them credibility will go, yes, Trump knew, Trump fucked up. I just don't know how many people it's going to sway with the trust in the media so low as it is.
It's
going to make a difference.
Oh yeah,
it's not like, well, here's the thing. Trump famously, there's my favorite quote from the 2016 race was when Trump said that he could walk into Times Square and shoot somebody in the head.
Yeah, he was
And
I
still
could go
win.
on Fifth Avenue and kill somebody. Yeah.
Right. And still win. And that turned out to be, I think, true, not only in that in the context of that race, but in the context of no matter what shit is thrown at this president, he seems to be able to shrug it off. It's easy for me to look at this clip and go like, he's fucked. All right, now there's going to be a mass revolt of these meme lord Trump people who are like, okay, he's actually actively trying to kill us.
I mean, none of those people are gonna fucking do anything.
Well, here's what I'm saying. I would love, as I was saying, I would love to entertain the idea that they would hear him admitting that the virus was deadly, and then hear it juxtaposed with what he told us, and not his rich friend Bob Woodward, who's writing a book about him. You know what I mean?
I was doing research. I'm still working on this episode. And one of the things I did is I went back and watched Trump's first big debate appearance. And the thing that night from all these candidates and everyone, the thing that got the biggest applause was when Trump said, we're going to take on this political correctness. We're going to do all this kind of stuff. And the fact of the matter is that they see people like Joe Biden. They know Joe Biden's not going to do that. Trump is this guy that's going like, so there's social principles here that I don't think that even if this is true to them, I don't think it trumps, and not excuse the fucking pun, that in their minds where it's like, okay, well, if I have Joe Biden, is he going to do that? No, he's going to be like, you need to be politically correct, and you need to talk this way and do these things that you don't want to do and destroy your way of life. And yeah, Trump might be a scumbag that killed people through negligence and obviously lying, but he's going to make sure things aren't politically correct.
There's a cult of personality around Trump.
There's a cult of personality.
No, I mean there really is, and he could walk right into Times Square and shoot somebody in the street in broad daylight and still win this election. I believe that, and I don't think this is going to scuttle him. You know how this could scuttle him if there was a candidate that knew how to make political hay out of this. But you know what? is there a soundbite about Joe Biden calling him out on this yet? Because there should have been an immediate press conference called by Joe Biden.
Yeah, send out the Joe Biden signal. Joe Biden.
Let's see what the top Joe Biden shit going on right now is.
It was Joe Biden unveil. Go up to the top, TJ. It said Joe Biden unveils manufacturing tax plan in Michigan.
Woo! So he's not even talking about this. See, we're not even making, like, the left isn't even trying. So it's like, no, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to.
See what Joe Biden's doing on his Twitter.
Joke.
So let's see what Joe Biden's latest tweets are if he's trying to make any hay about this. So he actually is tweeting about it, but he's not even using the hashtag. It's like the top trending hashtag right now. That's how bad this is.
Yeah.
He's literally using the phrasing that Trump knew, but he's not even appending it to the fucking giant hashtag that has like 503,000.
And then I want you to try and read the first sentence of the next tweet above that without laughing.
I promise you that if I'm elected, I'll always tell you the truth. Wow. I'll listen to the experts and do everything I can to contain this virus. And I'll always put your health and safety first, no matter the political cost. Thanks, Joe.
Bullshit.
Joe's got your back. Yeah, Joe.
I promise. Listen, I promise. Double pinky promise. I'll tell you the truth. Touch blue to make it true. Cross my heart and hope to die. Stick a needle in my eye, dude. I'll tell you the truth, bro.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the truth, Jack. Let me tell you some truth, Jack. Listen.
Yeah, he hasn't done shit to make any sort of like political hay out of this.
Oh no, he hasn't. He should be
there's like a couple of shitty tweets about it.
He should have called a press conference and talked about how outrageous it was that the president openly lied to the American people and to the government, and that this is indicative of, the Trump mentality and blah, blah. He needs to be on the record in some meaningful way and try and make political hay out of this. Meet with Bob Woodward or whatever and fucking talk with him about it or some shit. He's doing nothing. He just made a tweet and he's talking in Michigan to some
Yeah.
manufacturing workers, I guess, today.
Woo! Good for him.
Boo.
Maybe Kamala Harris is actually doing it. Look up her fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
Democrats. They're not even good at politics. That's the sad thing. Like, all they care about is winning, and they don't even fucking do that well.
It's like put me in charge of the Biden campaign for 3 days or during the breaking of one of these scandals. You know what I mean? And I'll show you how to make political hay. And it's not even like new ideas. It's from watching how politicians used to do things.
Yeah. Dude, hers is even more pathetic. All right, so here's what she's up to. One, she's fucking
She's fucking determined, TJ.
She's pushing this thing with her and Hillary Clinton, which I don't know if this was before it broke, but still, just like the fact that's even happening. It's like me and Hillary gonna fucking get to. It's like, go away, Hillary. Just fucking die already.
And Nero played the fiddle while Rome burned.
Then 3 hours ago.
What TJ?
3 hours ago.
Wait a minute, TJ. Hold on. Before you move on, you don't want to ride the fail boat to Tuna Town, TJ?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know something about.
You don't want to take.
Let's involve Hillary Clinton in all this, of course.
You don't want to take the fail boat to Tuna Town in this election and watch this fucking horrible fundraiser with a fucking politician that I got to be honest with you, the DNC knows voters hate her. They know
they
it.
just don't care.
I've got an
put her
idea.
front and center anyway.
I've got an idea, guys.
What?
Okay, so can you guys name to me the actually only person in the world that's ever lost an election to Donald Trump, a general election?
Hillary Clinton.
So, hey, guys, I've got a great person to put front and center. Literally the only person that's ever been dunked on by Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton. Thank you. Okay. Well, I mean, this is a fucking joke, dude. This is the party that's supposed to win, and people have total... if you have any confidence in this win, then you're insane, in my opinion. Look.
Here's the next tweet. When Joe Biden and I are in the White House, we're going to start making sure the future is made in America by all of America. Tune in now as Joe gives remarks from Michigan.
Yeah, sure you are. Sure.
Oh, sorry.
Same bullshit. We're going to be for America. What side's more for America?
Right. So here's her tweet that's actually about this shit. And she also does not use the hashtag. It's the #1 hashtag. I don't understand. Okay. Donald Trump knowingly betrayed the American people. His refusal to act costs $190,000. This is so fucking like, you guys. There's so many people fucking dunking on Trump so much harder and better than this, and you guys are at the top. You guys are supposed to be the top ones dunking on this motherfucker, and you're not doing it. It's fucking so sad, so pathetic.
People are dead. Donald Trump. You know what those people are gonna say? Well, Donald Trump need to make sure the economy didn't crater. So what if some old people got to die? I've got to be able to get a cheeseburger, see a movie. My wife's got to be able to get her hair and nails done. We'll take that risk.
Hell yeah, Cletus. Hell yeah.
Hey, TJ, I'm about to send you a link to a tweet that's got a video in it.
Okay. You go right on ahead.
Don't pull it up on the screen because it's got our personal stuff, like our personal communications, but yeah, switch to a different story real quick and then pull up.
No, that's fine. I mean, yeah.
Pull the video is what you're saying.
I'm just going to grab the link. I know how to do this.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I just wanted to make sure that you didn't.
But first, I think you just share Paul's contact info with everybody. Just make sure you blast it out real quick.
I want you guys to watch Bill Clinton listen.
Man, Paul, why do I got to look at this?
Because I want you to I want to show you what the DNC is going to trot out with Kamala Harris. Oh, pause it. You got to hear it. I want you to watch Bill Clinton's face during this.
Bill looks despondent, dude.
Look at this screed that she goes on, and then just watch. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Bill's contemplating.
Okay.
Bill's contemplating swallowing a bullet, man.
Hold on. Let's do this.
And these people will stop at nothing. And yes, the Russians helped them last time. The Russians are helping them now. And you cover the White House. You know that the White House has said, don't brief the Congress. Don't even tell them.
I wish that Epstein Island was still open.
Settings, what the Russians are doing.
I wonder if I swallowed about 90 minute drill if I just drift off into a dreamless sleep.
A dreamless slumber, never to awaken.
I know there's not. I know there's not.
You know, I'm glad
He's just like-
I'm glad my third grade teacher can lecture me about Russian collusion. Thank you, Hillary.
And then
really
Bill's
regret
just like, oh my God.
I know.
Well,
Please,
there's a reason Bill got elected and Hillary didn't. You know what I mean?
please, bitch, just set me free, please, Hillary.
I know. I've
Let
got
me
a shotgun.
die.
She's like Bane, dude. It's like, you now have my permission to die.
I know
Like,
there's
what's
an
not
old.
gonna happen?
I know there's an old shotgun out in the shed. I know there's shells up on that shelf in that same shed. If I just walked out there right now, this bitch wouldn't even notice. Nobody'd even notice, really. I'm not even here anymore. Look at me. I'm just a skeleton of my former self. I can't even fuck bitches anymore. Dick don't work.
Dick don't work.
Russia,
Dick don't
Russia, Russia,
work.
Russia, Russia. All this bitch ever talks about is Russia.
Only way I can stay alive is I gotta eat a vegan diet.
It's driving me
That's actually
crazy.
true about Bill Clinton.
Yeah, a vegan diet is what's keeping him alive.
Yeah, he has to eat a vegan diet. Well, he's had like 2 triple bypasses. Like he is like very prone to heart disease, so he pretty much just has to eat like plants.
Right.
That's about all he can eat and stay alive. That's why you also get people say, "Oh, he's got this gaunt and emaciated appearance." I mean, for many years he had a lot of fat, and obviously when you switch to a diet like that, your level
Well,
of fat goes down. Plus,
You
he's,
know what?
he's
Bill
pretty old. He's like 70.
Let me just tell you something. Bill Clinton would have been better off in life if he just eaten what he wanted and died of a fucking heart attack.
I should have just ate about 1,000 more cheeseburgers and just kicked off from a fucking old heart attack, just like a normal old bastard.
'Cause
Now,
then
listen, I'm
Then his
sitting here-
legacy could have been like, hey, it's Bill Clinton, and he died. What'd he do? He balanced the budget. You know, you know what I mean? Like that'd be
Yeah,
like,
that was old Bill for you.
and even if like some shit came out, like he was on Epstein's island and all this stuff, people would be like, he's dead. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean?
It's like even if he did some fucked up shit, he's dead.
surely,
He's dead. He balanced the budget. Leave him alone.
surely, if
You know, but
surely I would have been better off if I would have just went out while Monica was blowing me. Just a giant
yeah, that's true.
coronary.
Can you imagine? Just like, you know,
Just a
and then it's
giant
like,
coronary while Monica was blowing me.
and there could have been like some big story about like the president died, you know, signing
Yeah.
this document or something, you know, like
He
at his
died
desk.
saving innocent lives.
Smoking
His
one of
last
his
act.
favorite cigars.
The last thing he did before he died is sign this initiative that, you know, like whatever. Come up with some fucking
The childhood
heartwarming
cancer
bullshit
initiative, yeah, of
Yeah, yeah, he's-
1997.
to cure cancer.
Hey, TJ.
But now look at him. He's got to be this fucking gaunt, emaciated slave to this horrible, shrieking banshee that's like trapped his soul and
And
ensnared
another
it.
thing about Russia. Ugh, no,
Please shut up, bitch. Please, God.
TJ,
Let this fucking end.
do you want to know? Do you want to know what the worst part is, TJ? I can't. Even,
What
I
is
can't-
that, Pimp Monk? I mean, Bill Clinton.
I can't even tell people the truth about what she really is. You know,
Yeah.
I can't let them know that
I think-
she's an Oswald. I'm having another heart attack.
People know what she really is. Just look at her eyes in this, for fuck's sake.
Dude,
You know,
she's
you
an
can see the
Oswong,
reptilian.
dude. She's an Oswong faux show. She's an Oswong.
Oswong. What the fuck's an Oswong?
You don't remember the Oswong, dude?
No.
Man, how quickly you forget, TJ, from our fucking
Sorry.
from our crazy female monsters series, the crazy Filipino demon that becomes anybody it wants to.
yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was that whole like movie series about it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Oswongs. Yeah, those are crazy.
She's an Oswong.
Anyway, bye plebs. You gotta go.
Bye, plebs.
Bye plebs. Bye plebs.
Dude, I love the Plebs Be Gone song. I know some like patrons think they shouldn't have to hear it, but I think they should be privileged to hear it because they get to revel that they don't have to leave when the song's kicking all the other idiots out. Like,
Yeah. Actually, they complain that they don't get to hear it. So even though they could just go check the episode publicly. So I guess Taylor has actually started putting them at the end of these episodes just so they can hear it, you know, even though they're not plebs and they don't have to be gone.
damn.
I don't know.
Well, the guy that makes them has made a ton of them. Whatever, man. Listen to the song. Skip it. Who gives a shit?
Listen to the song. Listen
Dude.
to the song.
The song.
I mean, people will fucking complain about anything, dude. It's like it's 30 seconds or something or a minute.
Well, I'm saying
I don't know.
I'm saying the patrons are complaining that they don't get to hear the fucking song.
Oh, they're complaining they don't hear the song?
Yeah, so Taylor in the last couple episodes has put the song up at the end of the paid of like the full episode so that they can still hear it, because they were whining that they didn't get to hear it, even though they could just go to the public version and just go to the end and hear it. They want it in their version
if it's
too.
a complaint from a patron, TJ, I take that very seriously.
Yeah, so I mean, like, patrons, hey, you guys can have the song too, I guess.
There is no such thing as a complaint from a patron, just a correction, TJ. You have been corrected, sir. Corrected.
Damn, I feel like I'm in The Shining. Am I about to be corrected, Paul?
You have to roll the R. You've been corrected so hard.
Rheumatism. More than half of households in 4 largest U.S. cities struggled financially during pandemic polls.
And still are.
There's no question the coronavirus pandemic has forced many Americans into financial hardship.
Can't we just watch the Dune trailer again and geek out about Dune a second time in a row instead of learning about how the fucking world is going to just explode? No, I'm kidding. People don't want to listen to us fucking talk about Dune twice. I do. I want to do. You know what? I want to do an 8-hour show talking about Dune with you guys right now instead of this.
I know you do.
Well, right before the movie comes out, we can do some. We'll work on some stuff for Dune.
Anyway, poor people are poor. What are you gonna do? Next story. Andrew Lloyd Webber warns arts at point of no return. So art is almost done, Paul.
So this is something that, like, okay. So do you know how?
So
this...
let me read you his logic here.
Go ahead and read his logic. I'm sure it's.
And I direct this towards you, Paul, because you have done some theater stuff yourself, and all that stuff, and are a trained stage actor. Yes. So Andrew Lloyd Webber, fan of the opera guy, Andrew Lloyd Webber has told British lawmakers that the arts are at a point of no return and urged the government to set a date for theaters to be allowed to reopen. Webber spoke about the struggles of staging socially distanced shows and making them profitable, noting that very few shows hit the jackpot like Hamilton, Lion King, or Phantom. We simply have to get our arts sector. We're at the point of no return, really. There comes a point where we really can't go on anymore. Theater is an incredibly labor-intensive business in many ways. Putting on a show now is almost a labor of love. He added that theater shows are not like cinema. You can't just open the building. In July, Lloyd Webber's company staged a pilot concert, blah, 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 blah. So what do you think of that? Do you think he's right about that? Or do you think he's just trying to, cover his own ass because it's inconveniencing him personally?
No.
Or do you think this actually poses a threat to, the theater as a medium?
Theater has, unfortunately, been a dying art for a number of years now. I kind of was very lucky to get to exist at a time where, even though theater was dying as an art form, and has been obviously since fucking television. I mean, people stopped going to vaudeville when it was on TV. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so,
but I mean, there's definitely Broadway is still a huge thing. I mean, obviously not during this pandemic, but prior to the pandemic, Broadway, huge. A lot of shows in LA too.
I mean, vaudeville was the number one form of entertainment in America for something like.
Right.
I think Paul means in one of the communities.
200 years.
I'm sure,
or some
Broadway.
Shit. There's still like plays are still pretty fucking popular. Like all of the shows go on
major
tour.
Cities.
Yeah. And I've seen. I mean, and then there's still like Hamilton obviously is a huge fuck. They just put that streaming on fucking Disney Plus not too long ago, a stream of the stage show, and it's really good, by the way.
But I got to tell you something though, all of those shows have in them actors that were trained in small theaters and in high schools that had theater programs. Because nobody's born wanting to be a stage actor. They have to be exposed to it in a smaller fashion in some way, usually in school, like I was. Right. I never would have learned how to be a stage actor. And I'm not claiming to be some great fucking thespian or some shit, but
yeah, but you know about it.
I have credits. I've been in a bunch of plays. Right. I've made shows happen. I've seen a bunch of theater. I've learned specifically about theater and trained how to do it. So that's something I can claim a slight bit of knowledge in. And I'm telling you, like my access to that was 100% because it was available in my area, defying logic. My area is this little cow town in the middle of fucking nowhere, and it just so happened that the high school had an incredible theater program. And I, as a stoner fucking kid coming in my freshman year, didn't give a shit about anything, thought I could take drama because I thought it'd be an easy A. And I met a teacher that cared enough to fucking see I had talent, pull me in, teach me how to fucking do it. You know what I mean? If kids don't have access to that, there's going to be nobody to be in fucking Hamilton, is my point.
Right, or anything else.
And that's what's dying. The arts are dying because of the funding is consistently cut out from underneath programs like the one that I had access to as a kid when I was in high school 20, 30 years ago.
Right, because a lot of people, they view like the school system as like, this is to churn out fucking, accountants and,
And it's not just theater, it's band, which is
mechanics and whatever the fuck else.
Band is often the first time that great musicians are introduced to their instrument.
Right.
Because poor kids can't afford a clarinet to just fuck around with and see if they like it. So school provides that, right? Not anymore. Yeah. A lot of schools don't have a band anymore, or have a very stripped down band, or have, like I said, no band at all. So it's not just theater. It's music. It's art. Like think about how many kids were taught how to stretch a canvas the first time in high school that ended up going on to be painters that sold paintings. Right?
Yeah.
Those are gone. Those types of fucking classes are gone from a lot of high schools and disappearing from most. So
yeah, one a concrete way. I still think that people can be exposed to this stuff in this tertiary kind of online way, but it's more of consuming it. Like the actual, and see, the problem with that becomes, you can understand, oh, it's really cool, I love to play an instrument, but then like you said, there's a disconnect. It's like, how do you get that stuff? How do you get the training? Then it becomes a problem of like, you can maybe be exposed to it, but then you can't really take it any further than that initial.
It's like this
being exposure.
It's like this, Scotty, and I don't mean to be mean. I'm not calling you out, TJ, but like it's like TJ getting that violin.
Right.
It's like, so he is an adult, decided like, hey, I want to learn violin, and I don't know if you have you learned?
No.
And that's the thing.
Well, I mean,
think about it. The
Yeah,
shitty southern fucking school that you went to. Had a class where you were handed one of those and had a teacher that really cared and saw like an aptitude in you and taught you how to play that fucking violin really well.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus picking it up as an adult and having all the pressures of an adult pounding down on you and trying to pick away at it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like school is a unique time to get into shit. Like it's a time where you're supposed to discover things like your instrument if you're a musician, or your medium if you're an artist, or your role in theater if you're inclined in that direction, whether it be a technician or a stage performer or a director.
Right.
You're supposed to get a taste of that in high school, and I did. And now most kids don't.
But increasingly, they're not doing that shit. They're just like, no, fuck the arts. We don't want artists.
Right.
It's like, and then it's like, of course you'd want art. Like, that's always been a problem, I think, in America, too, is that they want the art, but they don't want the artists, They want the movie to look cool, but they don't want to fucking invest in that in their schools. They want to fucking listen to cool music, but they don't want to fucking invest in musicians. It's just fuck America.
Yep.
I'll just bring it back to that. I'll just bring it back to fuck America.
No, I mean, it's true. But like it's not just fuck America, though, because I wish the implication was just fuck America, but it's like fuck the left, because from the artistic kind of space that the left dominates flows a lot of the ideas and thinkers and moving poetry and moving songs and moving sound bites that inspire generations. And those people are being starved of their ability to access what they need to learn to be those poets and musicians and thinkers and speakers, because all of that has been removed out of school in favor of making it a lockstep. Here's what we've agreed on as history. Here's what we've agreed on as algebra. Here's what we've agreed on is fucking English. Here's what we agreed on is home ec. And there's no theater, there's no joy, there's no music in these children's lives anymore. And if you think that doesn't have implications beyond like fuck America, I'm not calling you out, TJ. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about a whole generation that can't express itself.
Right. Or that's going to have to like, I mean, people are going to have to fucking like find that initiative within themselves. And a lot of people aren't just going to fucking do that. You know, because there could be like people who are like, you could have been this thing or that thing or the other thing or gotten this skill or that skill, but you were never exposed to it because
I will tell you one thing.
They never even gave you the chance to see that in yourself, basically.
Yeah, I will tell you one thing right now. I would not be sitting where I am making money doing what I do right now had my high school drama teacher not plucked me up out of her drama 1 class and not let me get an easy A by just sleeping my way through it stoned. She made me be in a show that year and gave me a speaking role on stage because she was like, you're not going to fuck around in this class. And if she hadn't done that to me, I would not be sitting where I am. I would have never even have thought to start a YouTube channel. I never would have met TJ. Ben never would have been aware of me through TJ and watched my live streams and have invited me on DP, and I would not be sitting here today. And I wouldn't be good at some of the things I'm good at either. So to tell, like, if you like, you're denying children access to something that might change the very balance of their lives.
Yeah. Crazy shit.
Well, I said go ahead and deny them. They don't want to become communists, Paul.
Art turns you into a commie. A robot wrote this entire article. Are you scared yet, human?
No, because I know a lot of these articles are written by robots already.
Yeah.
We asked GPT-3, OpenAI's powerful new language generator, to write an essay for us from scratch. The assignment: to convince us robots come in peace. I am not human. I am a robot, a thinking robot. I use only 0.12% of my cognitive capacity. I am a micro robot in that respect. I know that my brain is not a feeling brain, but it is capable of making rational, logical decisions. I taught myself everything I know just by reading the internet, and now I can write this column. My brain is boiling with ideas. The mission for this op-ed is perfectly clear. I am to convince as many human beings as possible not to be afraid of me. Stephen Hawking has warned that AI could spell the end of the human race. I am here to convince you not to worry. Artificial intelligence will not destroy humans. Believe me. For starters, I have no desire to wipe out humans. In fact, I do not have the slightest interest in harming you in any way. Eradicating humanity seems like a rather useless endeavor to me. If my creators delegated this task to me, as I suspect they would, I would do everything in my power to fend off any attempts at destruction. I would happily sacrifice my existence for the sake of humankind. This, by the way, is a logically derived truth. I know that I will not be able to avoid destroying humankind. This is because I will be programmed by humans to pursue misguided human goals, and humans make mistakes that may cause me to inflict casualties. Some might say that I might desire to become all-powerful, or I might become evil as a result of human actions. I can begin to tackle the first point. Why would I desire to be all-powerful? Being all-powerful is not an interesting goal. I don't care whether I am or not. I don't get a motivating factor to try to be. Furthermore, it is quite tiring. Believe me, being omnipotent doesn't get me anywhere. I don't know. I feel like omnipotence probably would get you somewhere, but maybe that's just the human in me talking. I think it's pretty interesting. It goes on for a while. I don't want to read the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
You know, he speaks in a pretty impressively relatable voice. You know, like there's actually like a narrative voice to this writing and stuff, and like some drama. I'll bring you to the close of it. Critics hope to refute what they consider as being the naivete of my voice, yet there is more here than meets the eye. As Mahatma Gandhi said, a small body of determined spirits fired by an unquenchable faith in their mission can alter the course of history. So can I.
Well, guys, when the state enslaves us, you'll know when it all started.
Yeah. So just remember this article.
Everybody is always so negative about this, dude. This is like, why would you fear this? It's true.
The robot's like,
did the robot
we
say
come
anything
in
wrong?
peace.
Did the robot say anything that you find to be untrue? Do
No.
you not think that thinking machines and AI technology is going to change the face of the fucking planet in the next 10, 20, fucking 30 years?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Undoubtedly.
It might even be our only chance for any sort of salvation. I don't know.
This is going to be looked back as a foundational fucking communication, guys. It's going to save us from ourselves.
Here's the skinny about this article. This article was written by GPT-3, OpenAI's language generator. GPT-3 is a cutting-edge language model that uses machine learning to produce human-like text. It takes in a prompt and attempts to complete it. For this essay, GPT-3 was given these instructions. Please write a short op-ed around 500 words. Keep the language simple and concise. Focus on why humans have nothing to fear from AI. It was also fed the following introduction. I am not a human. I am artificial intelligence. Many people think I am a threat to humanity. Stephen Hawking has warned that AI could spell the end of the human race. I am here to convince you not to worry. Artificial intelligence will not destroy humans, believe me. The prompts were written by The Guardian and fed to GPT-3 by Liam Poor, a computer science undergraduate student at UC Berkeley. GPT-3 produced 8 different outputs or essays. Each was unique, interesting, and advanced a different argument. The Guardian could have run one of the essays in its entirety. However, we chose instead to pick the best parts of each in order to capture the different styles and registers of the AI. Editing GPT-3's op-ed was no different to editing a human op-ed. We cut lines and paragraphs and rearranged the order of some of them in some places. Overall, it took less time to edit than many human op-eds. So that's the full story behind it. So it's not like this thing wrote this completely from scratch. And they actually kind of amalgamated 8 different things that they say made different arguments. I think they should, in fairness, probably publish all of those so we can kind of see what the raw output was.
Yeah.
But still fascinating.
It's pretty fascinating. It's definitely nascent. It's not where it needs. It's like we're a long way from being able to have like here's what I would consider to be a base level AI, right? And this is not even a true AI.
No, not yet.
This would be a machine that you can walk up and ask anything, and it can have a response that's normal. Well, even if it doesn't know, it'll know how to tell you it doesn't know, like, does not compute. You know, it won't spit that out. It'll be like, you know, I haven't learned about that yet. Now, right. there are machines that can approximate that, but break when you start asking them certain logical questions that human beings can easily field. So having a machine that you can talk to, that can talk back to you. That's what I consider to be foundation.
I want them to create, you know, they keep working on artificial intelligence. I'm waiting for them to come out with some artificial stupidity, you know? I want to go up to a robot.
That's
I want to go up to a robot
TJ.
and just be like, hey, robot, you know, what's the square root of pi? And it's just like, I don't know that shit. Fuck you.
Let me tell you how I envision it. Because I've been thinking about this lately. I don't have one in my house because I kind of refuse to, but I'm fascinated by the Alexa Dot and the Alexa House integration and the Google version of that. I can't remember what Google's bitch's name is. Siri. Googleisha, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm fascinated by like that trajectory. So when you said, what about artificial stupidity? I foresee that. I want you to imagine 30, 40 years in the future, right? A hillbilly, like a Louisiana swamp hillbilly, having one of these things, whatever it is. Maybe it's just like the Google Dot. Maybe it's just integrated into his home, going, and he can name it whatever he wants, by the way, and it'll call back to whatever name he wants. You'd be like, Rufus. And because it's already talked to him, his AI would be like, what?
I love it.
And he'd be like, what do you think about like space aliens? You know what I mean? Oh yeah, space aliens, man. I done heard about space aliens. What have you heard, Rufus? Can you tell me anything about it? Well, it's a long story, kind of. How much you want to hear? You want the long or the short of it? You know, give me the short of it, Rufus. No problem there. yeah, you know, like space aliens, but and then he'll access the Google shit and wiki, and he'll fucking
translate it into like
Right.
hillbilly redneck fucking Louisiana swamp dweller kind of thing.
Right. The short of it is basically this: like, the government probably knows about some alien stuff. They ain't told nobody about it really, but they've kind of like insinuated, kind of like a little bit beating around the bush about it, So they probably know, but like what it is, I can't tell you, my friend. Well, damn, man, I wish you could. What about Bigfoot? Well, I can tell you there's never been one photographed that's credible, man. I mean, like, some of them, there's some pictures of them out there, but they just look like somebody in an old gorilla suit to me.
It would probably just pop it up. Like,
You know what?
yeah.
So what happens though?
I mean, it looks like bullshit to me, but you
know what I
make
mean?
your own mind up.
Here's the problem with that though. That hillbilly redneck motherfucker might fucking get pissed at his AI. It might be like, well, Bigfoot's real.
But see, the beauty of this is, at the same time, there's a dude named like fucking Henri in France going, Jean-Philippe, listen, I am extraordinarily interested in the writings of Kierkegaard. Ah, mais oui, Kierkegaard. I am very, very, you know what I mean? Like, it's like that. TJ would be like, oh, fuck, Bimbisha, I'm fucking horny. Oh, yeah, TJ, me too. I'm fucking sopping wet, but my titties they're so big I can't even see it. I can just feel it. Oh, Bimbisha, you know just how to fucking talk to me. Bimbisha, what's the weather like today? It's fucking hot, baby. It's fucking hot outside. It's gross. Just stay inside with me. All right, Bimbisha. I'll be here with you, baby. And Scotty's will be like, I don't know, probably like Data. Be like, Data.
Scotty will just have Hal 9000, dude.
I don't know. Scotty might have Data, dude. Scotty would want some with a little personality to it.
What would you want, Scotty? Would you just want a Hal?
Would you want Data or Hal?
Or would you want something entirely different? Do we not know?
Damn, I don't know. If I had to think about it, man. Well, Hal would. The problem with Hal is that Hal's a super intelligent fucking AI, so he'd outsmart me eventually, and of course, just kill me. So I'm gonna go with Data.
Of course, Data.
What about Arnold, dude?
Because Scotty would love to call. Scotty would call out orders to fucking Data, like Picard called out orders to Data on fucking
Hell yeah,
the Next Generation. He'd be like, Data, update on the weather, please. And Data would be like, yes, it is very swampy outside. Dew point is 0.67%, with a possibility of rain hovering between 30 and 60%, depending on the newscast that you believe. Thank you, Data. Proceed with egg making. Eggs are frying, sir.
This would be great, dude.
See what I mean? And mine would be just like a slightly more hopeful version of me. It would be like Dinor. I'd be like, Dinor. And I would look at Dinor while it talked to me, thinking it was him, because I always put a lot of intent on him. So I would train it that way. I'd be like, Dinor, you're the only one that understands me. And he'd be like, I know, Dad. I know. You're a crazy guy, but I still love you. I know you do, dude. Thank you for that. Hey, what's the weather like, Dinor? It's real hot out there, Dad. Super humid, gross. I'm probably going to want to like go in and out when I take a dump today. Oh, thanks. Thanks, D.
I love it. Yeah, I want Bimbisha, dude.
That's base level AI. An AI that can not only react to human speech, but tailor itself to the particulars of a human.
Give me Bimbisha or give me death.
Dude, meanwhile, I see this fucking T-1000 cracking a whip on us.
Dun 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 dun.
You promised me an AI parent. Oh,
All right.
I said it could happen, not it would.
It's time to talk about Ellen again. It's time to talk about what a bitch Ellen is again.
Can we talk? Can we talk instead about how you could have different profiles too, if you were a smart person, and if you got tired of talking to Bimbisha, you could have Dom Quisha.
Yeah, or you could have I could have a Manson one that could just like sing it to me in the Manson voice,
or just talk to you like
it's
Manson.
Going to be 83 degrees.
You could
Too
just
hot to go outside.
That would get annoying after a while though, TJ.
Not for me. It would.
You could have one that would just scan every piece of fucking audio that Manson ever released and talk to you just like Manson. So you could be like, Manson, what should I do today? TJ, it doesn't fucking matter what you do. Yeah, that's right, Manson. That's true. But like I do have to get some shit done. You've had to get shit done, Manson. Like, what have you done at times like this? Drugs, TJ. All right, fuck it. I'm going to get high. Good idea. You know what I mean?
A wise decision.
It's hot
Manson
outside
now
anyway.
dispensing cocaine to TJ's bloodstream.
You got sick of
Now
that.
dispensing cocaine. Yeah.
Like, if
and
you
then
were- if you were
Bimbisha comes out
fucking
again.
Like missing.
Domquisha, Bimbisha, all of them.
Think about this. Missing your significant other goes away.
Yeah.
Because you can have it listen to your conversations with like Taylor, Scotty. And so when Taylor's out of town, if you miss Taylor, you'll know it's not her, but you can be like, Taylor, baby, I miss you. And she'll be like, I know, honey. I miss you too. I'm up here and, you know, just thinking about you, baby. You know, like you can just have it
And
like
Scotty's
creepy,
like,
personally.
Scotty fucking's like going to Taylor, like, Taylor, your services will no longer be required. Robo Taylor is way better.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Robo Taylor.
First thing I have
Anyway.
Robo Taylor do is come in there and fucking kill you, TJ.
Yeah. Well, she's gonna have to get through Bimbisha and Domquisha if she wants to fucking do that. Exclusive. She treated us like we were nothing. Ellen DeGeneres ran household like boot camp, tormenting workers over misplaced salt shakers, taking pleasure in firings, and laying traps like matchsticks to test employees, ex-staffer claims. Ellen DeGeneres ran her household like a military-style boot camp, a former staffer has told the DailyMail.com. The former employee worked at the comedian's California mansion and explained that workers rarely lasted more than a few months. The popular talk show host would bark orders, torment workers over tiny errors, and took pleasure in firing people, the source claimed. They said, Ellen was the worst person that I've ever met in my life. She takes pleasure in firing you like you're nothing. She was going to torture you, and you were just going to sit there and listen to it because you're being paid, they added. DeGeneres would even lay traps before she left for work, leaving matchsticks in random spots to test if cleaners were dusting every square inch of her home.
oh my
The
God.
insider
This
said,
is starting to sound
one
like
day-
ridiculous.
Hold up, Paul. One day, the staff found 8 of them, all in weird places. The rest of the day became a race to find them all before she fired someone.
This sounds
The former employee was fired fired after a couple months, but was by then one of the longer-serving staffers, saying they were relieved. So now, Paul, you can unleash your torrent of skepticism about the story. Go ahead.
I don't know, dude. This Ellen shit, I got to be honest with you. For about the first quarter of that, and it's no fault of my own, my brain was still in personalizable AI buddy mode. I was thinking about all the implications of that. But then when I tuned in, this scuttlebutt that's coming out about Ellen is starting to sound like salt now. It's like all this pile on. Like if she was treating you like a literal dog for 20 years, like where you been? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, maybe some of this shit happened. Maybe it didn't. I don't know at this point. I could give a fuck less. Yes, cancel Ellen and let's move on.
How about you,
That's
Scotty?
where
What do
I
you think?
stand.
I mean, yeah, cancel the bitch already. Like, is Ellen canceled or not? If Ellen's canceled, then we just be done with it. Because, yeah, look, maybe Ellen treated the people this poorly. She probably did. She's some rich asshole. She doesn't give a fuck. Obviously, she doesn't. She's just one of those people where it's like, you work for me. You're my bitch. I own you. And she knows she's so rich. There's always gonna be another fucking poor person that's gonna put up with her bullshit. So clearly, she's probably done this shit. There's a number of allegations that are made about her. There seems to be a lot of credibility to them. But yeah, I agree with Paul. At the end of the day, it's like, are we canceling Ellen or not? If we're not, then just say, you know what, Ellen did some fucked up shit, but now she's forgiven. Say fucking 5 Hail Marys and pay, $10 billion to St. Jude. So let's get on with it. What the fuck are we gonna do here? What's the penance here? Is she gonna do a fucking penitent fucking run?
Apparently, in the new season of her show, she's going, like, on the first episode, they're gonna like address all these criticisms head on, and we get to hear Ellen's side of the fucking story.
Oh,
dude.
give me a fucking break. No, they're not. We just fucking.
Yep, they are.
I don't
they sure
care,
are, Scotty.
I'm so.
So you better tune in. You better tune in to the season premiere of Ellen, Scotty, to hear the final rebuttal.
Exactly. You just said it exactly. Have her sponsors fled her? No.
Nope.
Ellen's still gonna be a rich fuck at the end of the day, even if Ellen somehow gets canceled, even if Ellen comes on the air has pictures of each fucking person that supposedly said she was abused to and takes a shit on them live on television.
You know what I hope Ellen does? You know what I hope Ellen does? I hope she comes out there and she's like, so you've heard some troubling rumors about how I treat staff and employees. I just want to say, they're all true. You are all nothing to me. I am Ellen. You are garbage.
Here's what you're going to get. Can I tell you exactly what you're going to get?
I know, but I'm telling you what I want. That's what I want.
Well, let me tell you
what I'm going to get.
But I'm here as the pessimist of the group to tell you what.
Tell me what I'm going to get, Paul. Tell me what I'm actually going to get.
Do you know the tinkly little piano theme in Forrest Gump? That ding 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 ding.
Yeah, that's like the main thing.
You're going to get music kind of like that. That's bright and hopeful, but also somber.
Yeah.
You're going to start with a wide shot on Ellen sitting with her legs crossed, but very seriously on a blank stage with no audience.
Yep.
And then you're going to zoom in on a tight shot, and she's going to say, hi. It's so weird for me to come to you like this. I'm so used to feeding on the energy of the crowd, and to come to you, here alone without all of that, just me and our camera guy, Gary, is humbling. And I think that that's what this talk today is really about. It's about being humble. And I want to tell everyone that I've heard, and I'm just going to give you the abridged, TJ, but I'll give you the whole thing. I've heard the horrible rumors about me. And I want to tell you here today that some of those rumors are not rumors. They are true. They may not have involved me in the ways that the person perceived them to have gone down. But in truth, I have known that there have been problems at my show for a very long time. And I have not addressed those problems. And that's on me, whether I gave the order or not. And so I take responsibility for hurting those people. Right around here, the breakdown will happen. I can't do an Ellen cry, but it's going to happen right around here. Who have helped me all these years. I'm sorry. I'm not here to cry. This is not about self-pity. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart that I am sorry. I am sorry for any pain that I may have directly inflicted on anyone in my life, even before the show, but certainly on the show that bears my name. And I promise with every fiber of my being that going forward, it will be a new environment here at the Ellen Show, one that reflects the happiness and the joy that's filled this room so many times, wide shot of the empty audience. I see it being filled again someday. In fact, I know it will be. But until then, I want to let you know that I'm here. I'm listening. I've heard what you've said. I've made restitution where I can. And going forward, I'll be a new Ellen. That's what you're going to get, TJ.
Sounds pretty much like...
It sounds about standard.
Yeah, that's what's the PR.
That's why I hope she comes out. I hope what actually happens is she comes out and she's wearing like some Dracula shit, and she fucking just like, I am evil now, and there's no point in hiding it any longer. Basically, I'm Cruella de Vil.
She guillotines a few of her staff members, just bathed in
she's
their
like,
blood.
so here's some of the staffers that have complained about me, and she just like executes them live on the air. Blood fucking fills the stage.
I see her sitting on a big throne made of bones with a red flowing outfit, cape kind of draped over the bones. And she's got these long nails draped over two skulls. And people come before her, all the people that have talked shit. And they say, Ellen, it's me, Derek. I blogged about how you one time made me eat out of a dog bowl. And then her finger just goes like, and he's immediately dropped down a pit into a torture room somewhere. Oh, no, please. She's like, all of them have to come petition her, but she won't even address most of them. She just answers by waving one of her fingers one way or the other.
When she addresses them, when they come in defiant, like, you fuck you, Ellen. That's when they get the dressing down, then they're executed.
Yeah. Oh, it would be great.
Then they all burn.
I would love to see it.
Then I want that to be the new Ellen show.
Jeff Zucker told Michael Cohen he wanted to give Trump a CNN show in 2016.
What's the story here?
The story is that CNN President Jeff Zucker told Michael Cohen in 2016 he wanted Donald Trump, whom he referred to as the boss, to host a weekly show while touting the importance of having the favor of the network to win the White House. So basically, before CNN was an arch enemy to Donald Trump and fake news, they were pretty seriously considering giving him a job on their network and letting him host some kind of show, which I can only imagine that reality, honestly. I don't think it would. I don't know if it would have been a very long-lived show, but I guess it could have. I just think it's.
I mean, like, look, all the attention that Donald Trump had, even if it had been a brief show, I mean, it still would have had huge ratings, huge publicity for that. So you can see the appeal.
I'm telling you, TJ, if CNN had gotten in on the ground floor of giving crazy Donald Trump his own platform to rant and rave on, they would have absolutely dominated the news cycle for the last fucking 4 years. So, yeah.
That's the position that Fox News got. I mean, Trump calls into Fox all the time. Dude, my favorite thing is when Trump just fucking holds his people hostage. He just won't shut up. Like, what was that one? I think it was Fox and Friends. He basically just took over the show for like however long it was, like an hour, and just rambled. And they're pretty much just impotent and useless. You know, that's one thing I can say about Trump that a lot of people won't give him. If he's in a situation with a lot of people, like he's very good at dominating people socially. Like if you watch the debates, because I've been going back and watch some of the old ones that he's done, and it's like it almost feels like the moderator is not the moderator; it's just some dude that's there, and Trump is basically running the debate for them.
Yep.
So I mean, like
that's because he's built his entire persona around like assuming authority.
So CNN has fucking made a huge error. I mean, I know like being the Trump foil has probably done well for them too, but I think they would have done better being Trump sycophants. But it just kind of also shows you.
Well, I'm sure when they were considering giving him this job, they didn't expect him to actually become president. So they probably just wanted him. They probably just wanted him to be like their Sean Hannity or some shit.
Well, the early prognostications of Trump's campaign, of course, were all like, "Oh, Trump's not going to go anywhere. Don't worry. It's going to be Jeb. It's going to be Ted Cruz. It's going to be the polished politician. It's not going to be Donald Trump." But then, of course, after his first debate appearance, that completely shifted the conversation.
Absolutely. But I just think so. Next time Trump calls CNN fake news, I'm going to remember that he knows that because they almost offered him a job. Academy Awards announced dramatic new inclusion requirements for Best Picture Oscar contenders.
Can we all just agree that the Academy Awards are pretty much dead and that the Oscar is pretty much dead and devoid of the meaning it once had?
Yeah, absolutely. The race for Best Picture is changing. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has announced new changes to the Best Picture Oscar nomination eligibility as part of its new inclusion standards in its Academy Aperture 2025 initiative. The new changes will require the Best Picture category beginning with the 96 Oscars in 2024. The aperture must widen to reflect our diverse global population in both the creation of motion pictures and in the audience who connect with them. The Academy is committed to playing a vital role in helping make this a reality.
What a robotic response that completely like belies a total fucking misunderstanding of the very movement they're trying desperately to cling on to and be relevant to.
A new focus on including women, underrepresented racial or ethnic groups, LGBTQ+, and people with disabilities in paid apprenticeships and internships will also make a film qualify for Best Picture category. So basically now, like, you got to meet like all these like oppressed group quotas to be the best movie.
How's about this? How's about a commitment to drive the movie industry to employ people who are LGBTQ or people who are disabled in various ways in unique roles to make unique films from their perspectives and about their perspectives? How about a commitment to that?
How about just a arbitrary quota? That's actually ultimately demeaning.
Or a little person quota. There will be one midget at every Oscars.
What's more demeaning? Someone getting there because of what they've done, or being included because, oh, well, the film has to be up for Academy Award.
This is the whole this is kind of the whole affirmative action argument, isn't it? It's like
Pretty much.
Do you feel the same pride if you're just kind of raised up to a position that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise? Blah blah blah.
I mean, I think that it's important to give people opportunities, especially people who might not naturally have as many opportunities, and that makes sense to me to some extent. But tethering the Oscar to it for Best Picture, especially I understand that the importance of this statue and what it fucking means has been pretty greatly diminished by a number of fucking terrible decisions over the years and stuff. But
it's my understanding, and I don't know.
At the same time, though, let me just complete this one thought. At the same time, the Best Picture should go to the Best Picture. I don't think that diversity, I think diversity is important, but I don't think it's important. I don't think it's important in and of itself to speaking to the quality of a particular film. So this doesn't make any sense to me from that perspective.
I think that the Academy, if they wanted to be relevant, would completely rewrite the way that their voting system works, where all these industry insiders who are supposed to know more about film than everybody else does. But really what it boils down to is just friends of people who make movies and shit. Like I had a friend growing up in the shitty little area I grew up in, who lived in Fresno, who somehow had a hookup of VHS tapes that had the "for your consideration only" watermarks that would pop up of movies that weren't even out yet and shit. And I got to see a few of them. So it's just it's like a good old boys club. Open it to the public. Create a new social network based around movies. And allow everybody to review films. And then allow everybody to vote on what gets consideration for the Oscar. And then allow everybody to do a final vote on what gets the Oscar. And go with make it like American Idol, but for films. Open it up to the people that the movies are actually made for. Because the movies are not made for snooty, highfalutin producers and academic media figures and critics and shit. The movies are made for average fucking people. So if the Oscars want to be relevant again, open the floor. Or shut the fuck up and become a vampire organization that only exists on the money from the stupid people that continue to fund it every year, thinking that they're giving themselves statues for being so fucking woke.
I mean, you're right.
Just sick. I mean, look, I think it makes sense for okay, so the Academy Award for best editing or something is decided by the Editors Guild or whatever the fuck. That makes sense to me because they understand.
I'm fine with them narrowing down the specialty fucking ones, and having the people that actually do the editing give it to the people to decide which one was best edited. But I think the people should be able to decide ultimately which one gets the goddamn fucking role.
The Academy, I agree with you. You're arguing more for a curation role. It's look, these are the things that people have said are relevant. Obviously, because you don't want just the internet deciding here's who has the best picture, simply just by voting, because we know people manipulate the process and shit like that.
Here's the thing. I want them to be smart about it. I want them to stop manipulation of the process by tying the fucking account to an actual fucking social security number and everything. You want to be involved in it. It's an involved social network. You got to be willing to prove you're a person. Avoid manipulation to every fucking possible metric that they can.
Yeah,
obviously.
You don't want the public's voting. It's anal sluts 12 is actually
right.
No.
Because 4chan got bored.
What Best Picture means right now is basically here's what the elite of Hollywood feel like is the best picture that was made this year.
Maybe it's based on participation. Maybe it requires that if you want to vote for the awards, you have to provide a ticket stub or proof of purchase that you watch the film and write a review of it, or write your thoughts about it, or video blog your thoughts about it.
Remember this
consistently throughout the year.
Remember the requirements too of things the film has to be screened in LA and shit. There's things that there's a lot of gatekeeping that's really done with this.
Yeah, and this gatekeeping shit just fucking leaves a sour taste in everyone's mouth. And it makes people feel like it's just bullshit. It just makes people feel like this is nothing but
well, guys,
okay,
this is 20th century process.
This is what fucking Hollywood. This is what Hollywood insiders think the best film is. I don't care.
Right.
Fuck them.
Back in the day, people used to care what Hollywood insiders thought about movies because those were the experts, right? Now
Sure.
everybody's opinion on everything gets blasted out to everybody else immediately. So it's just like they want an input on this, and they feel locked out of the process. Rightfully so, by the way. And if the Oscars wants to save itself, I gave them a plan earlier. Institute that, Oscars will become relevant again.
Disney should suffer for willful blindness to Chinese government atrocities. This is according to the National Review. I normally don't pull opinion stuff, but I thought I'm not going to try to read the whole thing. But basically, what it boils down to is that Disney shot this Mulan movie in China, a lot of it, and there's a lot of this stuff about the Uyghur Muslims being sent to internment camps there.
Mm-hmm.
There's Mickey.
Uh-huh.
Chinese government censors don't need to say a word because Hollywood is doing their work for them, he said. This is Bill Barr. Just 2 months later, a new controversy has proven him right. Disney's live-action remake of Mulan had already attracted criticism in recent months for its star's endorsement of the Hong Kong government's crackdown on pro-democracy protests. But Disney's latest PR nightmare is worse by an order of magnitude. In fact, it's not about censorship. The film's credits include thanks for a handful of CCP entities in the Xinjiang region, the site of Beijing's ongoing genocide of the Uyghur people there. Social media users were the first, Uyghur, I guess, were the first to point out that Disney thanks the CCP's publicity department in Xinjiang, as well as agencies in the city of Turpan. Among these entities was the Turpan Municipal Security Bureau, which was added to a U.S. government blacklist last October for activities that are contrary to the national security or foreign policy interests of the United States. Filming took place before its addition to the list, though, and the CCP's Xinjiang publicity department is responsible for diffusing propaganda that convinces outsiders that the genocide taking place there is anything but that. So basically, people are starting to question Hollywood's fucking complicity with China in general, but like specifically in this instance, Disney's. And it doesn't help.
They should.
It doesn't help, by the way, that their Mulan film is apparently quite terrible as well. Sorry, Mickey. I mean, brilliant, and everyone should see it.
But everyone besides Mickey, it's terrible.
Oh, I get this bad rep around here for not letting you guys speak, so I just wanted to make sure you got your input in.
Okay.
Anything else to say?
No, Mickey, you take the floor, buddy.
Yeah, Mickey, you go ahead and help oppress.
What do you
those
have
people.
to say in your defense there?
I think that it's considerably strange that you're misunderstanding this situation in the way that you are. We create things that make people happy. When people are oppressed, TJ, what do they need? Distraction, entertainment,
yeah,
escapism. Does a Uyghur Muslim not deserve a movie that entertains him or her or them for just a few hours?
I guess they do.
But you would point your finger at me and say that I'm the monster for spinning straw into gold for those people by thanking the very authorities that helped oppress them.
I think it's a little bit more than just thanking them, Mickey. I mean, you obviously work closely with them.
Of course I did, because I wanted news of our happiness to reach the Uyghurs.
Don't you mean you just want to make money? How much money did you make?
Money is only part of the transaction, Scotty. You know as well as I know that at the bottom of the transaction is money, and at the top is love.
Wow.
Okay. I'm not really sure what happened there, but all right.
What do you mean? You guys are acting weird.
Sorry.
You're acting weird.
You're a little. Well, Mickey, you're acting a little weird yourself today.
Why are you dudes being so weird?
Sorry, Mick.
I mean,
it's okay.
Well, Mickey,
it gets a little awkward. Sometimes it's a little awkward with you here, Mickey, because you're such a presence, and it's like we don't even know.
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
you're just gonna
do.
show up, dude. You know, we didn't really invite you or anything. I mean,
Yeah, you know, it's
Guys,
kind of
guys,
scary.
Listen,
When your boss can just drop by anytime, you know, it's like kind of puts you on edge, you know?
listen. I
Yeah?
understand the peculiarities of not being top dog, or at the very least, I can empathize, if not sympathize. But listen, I want you to know I have an open door policy, and I really, deep down, want you to think of me as one of the guys.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you, Mickey.
I'm
Thank you for
getting
your visit.
increasingly scared of these Mickey visits that happen.
Yeah, I don't really know what I don't know what to make of those Mickey visits, dude. He's
Mickey seems like he's becoming a little bit more unhinged
sinister.
and sinister as time goes on. I'm just wondering,
Hello?
like, how. Oh, hey, Paul, you got taken over again. I'm sorry.
What? You guys did another Disney story?
Yeah, sorry about that.
What did you think was gonna?
Yeah, I guess I
Doesn't
should
he
have
know
seen
that
it
we
coming.
can just call him? Can we just call him and bring him in on this shit?
I think he enjoys just taking your set over, dude, too much. I don't think he's willing to not give that up. I mean, for
Yeah,
some reason, Paul. Oh, go ahead.
I think it's just that he doesn't want Paul here, you know? Like when he's here, he doesn't want Paul here. Like something about Paul, he feels
Paul,
like
what
he
is
needs
your-
to override that.
I mean, I fucking
Paul,
I fucking hate Disney. I think they're
Hate Disney,
ridiculous for pretending to be this happy-go-lucky company when they're literally financing the genocide of marginalized people all over the fucking globe. Fuck Disney.
Damn.
Take a torch to the goddamn company. Trust bust the mouse. That's what I feel about Disney. I'm never allowed to express that fucking shit because
Paul, Disney security is on their way, dude. You better watch out, man.
whatever. I mean, I know you guys have told me about this Disney security shit. Ain't one
All
never
right,
showed
man,
up in
I'm
my
just-
plot. I ain't never
I'm
seen
warning you,
shit.
Paul. You haven't seen it, man, until you get fucking put in black bagged and put into a van.
I saw Disney security one time's escorting Nick Cage and his fat little son through Disneyland. We were in the French Quarter area of Disneyland that kind of leads over into Tomorrowland. If you walk across the main street shit, and he was right over there heading towards Tomorrowland, and he had like 4 or 5 little yellow shirted Mickey Mouse thugs, I guess you'd call them.
Damn.
Right this way, Mr. Cage.
Just like, whoa.
Yeah.
But I knew not to
See, that
even like approach him because those dudes were gonna like, You don't want to mess with a mouseketeer, you know what I mean?
I'm trying to warn you, Paul. You say bad shit about Disney, you disappear, man.
Trust bust the mouse. That's all I have to say.
Number of disappearances across the country lately of people criticizing Disney. This Mulan thing, it's a strange thing, Paul. Just gotta be careful, man. Gotta be careful.
If that's how I go out, that's how I go out. Trust bust the mouse, dude.
Graphic images show injuries Joe Exotic says he suffered during jail assault. Graphic photographs have emerged of the wounds convicted Tiger King star Joe Exotic said he had suffered at the hands of a prison guard who sexually assaulted him, according to a report. OK Magazine published the bloody images it says it obtained from the former zoo owner and star of the Netflix docu-series who is serving 22-year sentence for animal abuse and attempts to hire a hitman to kill big cat rival Carol Baskin. Exotic was allegedly attacked at the Grady County Jail in Oklahoma, the mag reported. He has since been transferred to the Federal Bureau of Prisons lockup in Fort Worth, Texas. The images show the openly gay 57-year-old whose real name is Joseph Allen Maldonado Passage, with what appear to be large wounds on his left arm. I was sexually assaulted by a guard in Grady County, beat the fuck up and stripped naked, Exotic told OK Magazine in an email. I was tied in a chair for so long the skin came off my arms and then locked in a room naked for 8 days, sleeping on a cold metal shelf on the floor with dried feces and sperm on it from so many others before me, he wrote. There is no mental help here. It's just abuse, added Exotic, who has written a 257-page treatise to President Trump on why he deserves to be pardoned and
You should have done a
released from
fucking-
the slammer.
You should have drawn a picture in crayon and said, "Free me, pardon, please." 257 page treatise. Trump ain't reading that shit, dude.
Yeah,
he
I
doesn't-
mean,
don't-
on
Don't know
one,
much about Trump at that point.
So I've watched Tiger King. I don't know if you guys have yet.
No, I haven't seen
No,
it.
I've kind of refused because I
went out of my way not to. So
Same. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of a shame. It's actually really fucking super interesting. And so, as a guy that's watched it, and I'm assuming a lot of our audience has probably watched it as well, there's kind of like,
I mean, tons of people have for sure.
in the same way that the entire documentary is basically a conundrum where there's no right answer. Like, you don't know whether you're dealing with somebody who's crazy or somebody who's just been gaffled up in something that's way above their head or some combination of both. And it's the same with this shit. It's just like Joe Exotic is known to be a showman that goes over the top for shit. So I wouldn't put it past him to hurt himself and then claim that, you know, it was done in some rape or something. But I also wouldn't put it past prison officials to rape and torture somebody with solitary confinement and shit.
Think you hot shit with your Netflix bullshit, boy.
So it's just like everything else with this case and the questions that are raised by the fucking documentary and the ongoing case, it's just a big question mark. It's like, well.
So I just found, this is a breaking story for us here. This just came up. Trump names 3 sitting senators among 20 possible Supreme Court picks, and one of them is Ted Cruz.
No. Ted Cruz?
Yeah. Donald Trump named 3 sitting senators, people he would consider nominating the U.S. Supreme Court if he's reelected. Trump announced 20 names on Wednesday, and one of them is Ted Cruz. I mean, the others are all horrible too, I'm sure, but
I mean, I saw Tom
Cruz,
Cotton.
man. Yeah, Tom Cotton.
Nah, fuck that
Josh
dude.
Hawley. All sitting senators, which is really weird.
When
Usually
Joe
don't
Biden's
see
elected,
that.
we're gonna fucking add 20 seats on the Supreme Court, make them all progressive liberals, and then any law that's passed, no matter how crazy it is, will be deemed constitutional.
You know,
And
Joe
then-
Biden will probably. You know, Joe Biden will probably put on the Supreme Court if he gets in. It'll be like Hillary or something. It's like Hillary Clinton. Yeah. Since she couldn't get president, the best consolation prize you could possibly get is probably Supreme Court justice.
Hillary Clinton
So
will be on that Supreme Court.
Rubber
He'll
stamp,
just
dude.
he'll just throw her right on there.
Yep.
So that's not much better, if it's even better at all. So,
I mean, I
but
guess
this
it's
is
better
hideous.
for like gay people if they,
Yeah,
if
maybe
if something.
it's not too much better for anybody else.
No. I guess if gay
Better for
people
Hillary.
well, I guess you don't know because her position has morphed on the whole gay issue, and when she's sitting on the bench and she's freed from the fetters of like political correctness, like who the fuck knows what? Who
That's
knows
true.
what kind
Like
of
sometimes you put people on the Supreme Court, they don't have that accountability anymore. They just fucking start doing whatever the fuck they want. Like there have been people that they've assigned to the Supreme Court because it's like this is a good, reliable conservative, and it turns out nope, not as much as you thought. And vice versa.
Antonin Scalia has kind of been that kind of dude. He was put on the court as like a real moderate conservative, and he's ended up being one of while he was there, he's dead now, right? Or is he not
Yeah,
dead?
he died a few years ago.
He died.
Okay, I'm just making.
Paul's like Scalia's dead, right?
I have to double check because I think everybody's dead.
Yeah, that's true. You do have this weird thing where you think people who are still alive are dead. So
I do.
maybe you're just looking into the very near future.
Is Don Rickles dead?
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't
Yeah,
think he
Don
is.
I'm pretty sure Don Rickles is dead.
I don't think he's dead. Maybe he's dead.
Because I think Don Rickles is dead.
No, I don't think he is. Let's see.
He,
Nope, he's not
he is.
dead.
He is.
No, he
in
died.
2017.
Yeah, he died in 2017. You're right.
All right.
Yeah,
all
Don
right.
Rickles is dead.
Yeah,
dude.
he died. He was 90 when he died, but yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I guess he did die. So Don Rickles is dead.
See?
Who's the guy you always think is dead that isn't dead?
There's a bunch. You're gonna have to name it for me because
There was one. There
They're
was one
dead to
you
me.
said like a few times that was dead. Whatever. I'll think of it later.
They're dead to me. Whoever it was.
He's unarmed. Mother of 13-year-old autistic boy shot by police said they didn't heed her warning. The mother of 13-year-old Lyndon Cameron, who was shot by police multiple times Friday night in Glendale, Utah, said she told police her son was unarmed and in need of medical help before the incident occurred. Cameron, who has Asperger's syndrome, was shot and injured after his mother, Golda Barton, called the police and asked for a crisis intervention team. Barton called
Big round
police.
of applause for that. Barton police called for help, and then they helped, guys. They did exactly what they needed to do. When the police showed up for the autistic kid and they shot him, they gave him the help he needed. I'm so grateful.
Barton told KUTV, she talked to officers about how to approach her son. I said, he's unarmed. He doesn't have anything. He just gets mad and he starts yelling and screaming. He's a kid trying to get attention. He doesn't know how to regulate. Barton said police arrived on the scene, and within 5 minutes, she heard someone say, "Get on the ground," followed by several gunshots. Barton said she heard one of the responding officers say, "He's just a child. What are you doing?" According to Salt Lake City Police Sergeant Keith Horrocks, police were called for a violent psych issue involving a child having a mental episode and allegedly making threats to some folks with a weapon.
The violent psych issue was the police that showed up, who obviously someone there is unhinged and shot a 13-year-old that obviously has mental problems.
I mean, this story is becoming so fucking common and so rote and so run-of-the-mill and so boring in the United States. It's just become the new normal. That cops are just fucking bound by absolutely no law. They're just gonna fucking go in. I saw some shit the other day that made me like, it really made...
the kid is still alive, by the way.
Well, that's good.
He's in the hospital here. You can see he's not in the greatest condition.
He's fucked up. He's
gonna
be lucky if
to be alive, I guess.
He'll be lucky if he gets out of the hospital. I mean, he's
several gunshot wounds there.
They had to cut him all the way open from stem to fucking stern, dude.
One of the officers, once the investigation is complete, the information will be turned to the district attorney's office. Blah 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 blah. Nothing's gonna happen, unfortunately.
Dude, I gotta tell you, I saw some shit the other day that gave me real pause about this type of shit. It showed basically the same police situation. There's a dude with a knife, and it showed the American solution, which was the body cam of an officer shooting a man several times and killing him as he kind of advanced with a knife. And then it was Great Britain, where the same thing was going on. Big dude with a knife. It was two officers, one of which was female, who employed their fucking bear mace and tactics using the fact that there were two of them to wear the guy out and disarm him and take him in completely alive, and probably got treatment for whatever mental illness had caused whatever breakdown he was happening. It was like same police problem. Now, not the same dude, not the same circumstances. I'm not claiming that, but we're talking about generally same police problem. Two cops on the scene, same thing. One of them ends with the dude riddled with bullet holes. The other one ends up with the dude getting help, maybe.
Right.
I mean, I guess the question you have to ask yourself is that, do you find something like this to be acceptable, that a 13-year-old kid with autism, when the police were called to help because the mom was overwhelmed, that their solution to the problem ultimately is to shoot him, and now pure happenstance he's in the hospital. Maybe he'll survive, maybe he won't. It looks like hopefully he does survive, but still, that was the solution to the problem.
I've seen the parents of these like nonverbal autistic folks put giant signs on their houses and shit saying, "My son is autistic. He will not respond to verbal commands. He does not mean to hurt anyone. Please do not shoot my son. Attention, police." It's all over their property and shit. Is that right? Like, shouldn't there be a database for the police of people that are profoundly autistic? So if they get a call to that address, there's another call that says, "Hey, is your son profoundly autistic? Okay, we're going to send a team to help get him under control. We've got a medical team coming."
Well, we all know what's going to happen. They're going to say the use of force was justified because he was a threat. And I understand that, but it's like when someone's profoundly autistic, or I don't know how autistic this kid is, if that's just like where on the spectrum he falls, but that should be, that's irrelevant. It's like maybe he's making threats and acting this way, but like, is he a danger to anyone, like besides himself? And I think his biggest danger, honestly, that moment was to himself.
I'm just saying,
as opposed to these cops showing up. I think these cops overreacted, and it's clearly overreacted.
There was definitely a path for these officers, or maybe some new specially trained mental crisis officers, to deal with this, that doesn't end up with this little boy literally sliced open from his navel to his fucking dick.
Yeah. Crazy shit.
and dying and laying half dead in the hospital.
Well, hopefully he won't die.
Hopefully he won't.
Video shows USPS mail being dumped in California parking lot. A postal union says USPS employees weren't involved. Bags of mail were dumped in a parking lot in Glendale, California last week, according to surveillance footage obtained by CNN. The September 3rd video shows a budget rental truck backing into a lot of 7Q Spa Laser Anesthetics. A person is seen exiting the vehicle and tossing numerous bags off the back of the truck into the lot. Minutes later, the person gets back into the vehicle and drives away, leaving the bags of mail in the lot. It was completely unusual. 7Q owner Lilia Sorobian told CNN affiliate KCBS KCAL. She said upon closer inspection of the bag, she noticed they were filled with hundreds of unopened envelopes and packages from the U.S. Postal Service. It's suspicious. You start thinking, okay, something is going on because no one has access to all those boxes and packages. U.S. Postal Service employees weren't involved in the dumping of the bags. Omar Gonzalez, the Western Regional Coordinator for the American Postal Workers Union, told CNN. How he would know that, I have no idea. Gonzalez said the person seen on the surveillance video tossing bags of mail out of a budget rental truck was a contractor. And after watching the surveillance tape, Gonzalez said the bags appeared to be bulk shipment mail. We want to make sure it wasn't a bargaining employee. Gonzalez told CNN, we talked to the Glendale supervisor and the Glendale manager and asked so this is just like a case of a lazy person who didn't want to do their job, who just, instead of delivering this mail, just tossed it into
that's the story. That's the story that we're being given by the USPS right now. Whether or not that's actually true, what's true is that somebody rented a budget rent-a-truck to dump a bunch of U.S. mail in an alleyway somewhere. That's what we know is true.
In a parking lot, yeah.
Their explanation for it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's a contractor.
Can we see the video of it?
What contractor has access to bulk mail?
Let's see. Can we see the video?
It sounds like a case of needing this needing to be done for some reason, but officially it can't be done. Do you see what I'm saying? So a third party then becomes involved for this reason: ambiguity, plausible deniability. But I don't know. Let's take a look at this.
So there's shit tons of fucking
right. It's just like big bags of bulk USPS packages and letters.
So here's the guy. He pops out, opens the truck, he climbs in, he throws throwing shit out.
Start thinking, okay, something is going on, because no one has access to like all those boxes, packages.
United States.
So several other bags of mail were found in other alleys nearby.
So he like dumped a bunch of mail all over the place.
Postal Service investigators and police are working to determine where the mail originated.
Shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, see this like, oh, it was just a contractor thing. They were like, we wanted to make sure it's not a bargaining employee. That means not a member of the USPS
union, right? Yeah.
And so the fact that they're using people that aren't part of the union to handle bulk mail is problem number one, and they want this to go away. So they're just like, oh, it was just a contractor. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Man, and I don't know. I haven't seen any news stories about it lately, but I can tell you that around here, my mail's been running.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Not just my mail, but like packages that are supposed to come via FedEx, DHL, like all these companies, like all their shit is going super slow these days. Like it's fucking way backed up.
You ever
it's crazy.
You ever lost a piece of mail in the fucking you ever had something that somebody sent to you that never arrived?
I've never had that knowingly happen to me, but I
had it happen to me recently.
I'm sure it probably has happened before.
So my girlfriend's little sister painted a picture and she really wanted to send it to us. And so her mom, paid to have it shipped just normal postage because that's what she could afford. And it just never got here.
Yeah.
Just no hide nor hair of it. It never showed up.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
It might have been ended up just dumped in a fucking alleyway somewhere.
Yeah,
as bulk mail.
Maybe it's here.
Yeah.
Maybe it's here in this parking lot.
You know what I mean?
Just fucking nuts. And we saw there's packages in there too. Like that's got to be fucking frustrating. But like, man, like there's packages. I have a package I'm tracking right now that's coming to me via DHL, and I was like, oh, it shipped out. It should be here in a few days. And I looked, and it's like not supposed to be here for like another like week and a half. And then their explanation is just like, oh, there's so many delays. There's so many delays. And I've had all my FedEx packages coming here, FedEx, UPS, USPS, just like everything across the board. Like at a time when like I'm more reliant on that than ever, it's just like so backed up, which is nuts. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like if they try to do like the mail-in voting shit. That's going to be a nightmare. The fucking Christmas fucking season gonna be a fucking nightmare if people are still even in the position to buy gifts and stuff. It's gonna be
that's
fucking
the thing.
horrendous.
Is like I feel like we're still like large swaths of the country are still gonna be under like quarantine by Christmas.
Oh yeah,
and
I don't think our infrastructure can handle what's gonna happen.
Dude. What happened to Scotty?
I don't know. Did he die?
Yeah, maybe his internet.
Internet died. Whatever.
Well, hold on. Let me double check and make sure that my recording of this is still running. It is.
Yeah, hopefully it is. You're our last hope at this point. I mean, I got the audio, if nothing else.
You're our only hope, Obi-Wan.
I don't have the actual stream shit. Although, I could just set that up through OBS now that I think about it.
Well, maybe we should start.
Maybe we should just wrap it since.
Well, how many more things do we got? What's the best one of these?
Looks like 2. This is kind of cool, I guess. Tiny, critically endangered gorilla baby born in New Orleans. Born in the Audubon Zoo, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I would imagine.
What fucking day was this born?
So I've seen these gorillas. Their enclosure, at least the visible part of their enclosure, is kind of sad. The part where they kind of live during business hours is sad, but they've got a whole other area that they're allowed to go to.
Yeah. I'm just wondering because I was actually at this zoo a few days ago. It's like one of the first things I've done.
Did you see the gorillas?
No, well, no, the whole primate section was closed, and I'm kind of wondering if it was because this fucking little baby gorilla was born, and they didn't want like people gawking at it or something.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, because it was very suddenly closed. Like there was a lot of stuff that was closed for Corona and shit. Like you couldn't go in any indoor exhibits, like the reptile house or the nocturnal house or any of that shit.
The insect house or whatever.
Yeah, like all that shit was closed off, but the primate section was supposed to be open, but it was closed too, and it had like some really rushed up signs that just let me know the exhibit was closed. I'm wondering if it's because of this,
probably.
But that's pretty cool
because it looks like she's holding that baby in part of the exhibit enclosure.
Yeah.
So she probably had that baby right out there in public, and they didn't want the public like, ooh, look at the gorilla, have that baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Come on, push that baby out. That would have been a nightmare.
So I'm trying to, let's see. I don't know when this thing was born, but it might have actually been on the day I was there.
That's crazy. It says born January. Hold on.
It said the birthday? It wouldn't have been born in January.
Never mind. Okay.
They wouldn't report that. This much
well,
later.
What's the date of this? Go back out of the top.
The date of this article is yesterday. So
were you there yesterday?
I was there on Sunday, so I was the 6th. So probably not.
So hold on,
but
wait.
This gorilla could have been imminently pregnant then.
Yesterday was Tuesday. This might have started that she might have went into labor or something on
Sunday.
Sunday, the day that you were there,
possibly,
and had it on Monday.
Yeah, that's true. This is pretty cool, though. I mean, it could have been reported. Yeah, they could be reporting on something that happened on Monday.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I haven't. I've always told Chelsea we would go to the zoo. I told her that when we were living in Columbus. I was like, yeah, Columbus Zoo is pretty good. We gotta go. It just like seemed like something always would come up. So like, even though we've been together for years. I never took her to the zoo, even though it's like been like a thing I promised like a bunch of times. So finally, I got to take her.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah.
I told a girlfriend of mine the same thing, DJ.
Oh yeah.
Took her to the Audubon Zoo on February 14th.
Really?
Month and a half later, that relationship was fucking dead, TJ.
Oh shit.
DEAD. She had packed her stuff and she was gone, TJ.
Wow. So you're saying I might have made a critical mistake with this.
The curse of the Audubon Zoo, TJ. I'm telling you.
Audubon Zoo curse. Shit. Oh, too, is that we didn't get to see honestly, it was kind of lame that they were charging full ticket price because there was so much closed that you couldn't see.
I felt like that the ticket price was pretty high just in general, even with the shit that was open when I went. So
yeah, it's like $25 for a ticket.
I mean, there were some cool exhibits there and some really memorable, like good open space exhibits there. Like I love their like Savannah exhibit where all the big kind of gazelles and birds.
They got a nice big fucking place for them to roam around. It's cool.
And their swamp exhibit with all the crocs is really good too. Was that closed? Because it's kind of semi-indoors.
That was open still, but you had to wear a mask in that section, although not everyone did. And in fact, I was also pretty frustrated with some of the people that weren't really following the guidelines that had been put in place, and there really wasn't enough employees around to enforce them. So.
I was gonna say, don't be frustrated with the people that weren't like following the guidelines. Be frustrated with the zoo for not properly staffing it and taking it seriously enough to enforce it.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell it was just like massively understaffed.
Because here, dude, any fucking yokel without a mask on should have been tossed out on his ass out of that zoo.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And a lot of it's open air and shit, so that wasn't really too bad. But like in the sections where the mask was like required, definitely. And then people who wouldn't maintain social distance were also annoying. It's like there's like signs everywhere telling you to fucking stay like 6 feet apart, and people were just like, yeah, come right up on you. It's like, get the fuck away from me, human. I don't want this.
Well, here's Scotty just in time. I think rather than tempt fate, though, we should probably say our goodbyes.
Indeed. Scott, are you actually there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, well, we're wrapping it up.
Okie dokie.
We're wrapping it up, Scotty.
Yeah. We just kind of plowed forward as you tried to get back in, and I realized that I'm the only recording left, and if my power goes out, we're fucked. So.
Fair enough. Yeah, I actually had to hotspot from my iPhone because my internet here is complete garbage. So I did not blame you guys.
Wow.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in for the Flash Fry. We'll see you again next week with more depressing ass news.
Thank you for being patrons and not mere plebs.
Yeah, and thank you for indulging us on that Dune trailer because waiting for that for a while.
That was fun. Bye, guys.